It's time to return to Raccoon City for one last time, we really hope, as we talk about Resident Evil. Welcome to Raccoon City. Welcome back to the Dissect That Film podcast, where we dissect the good, the bad, and the ugly of your favorite films and film franchises. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me as always, my wonderful co-host, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming. And after 2 years, she is back to talk more Resident Evil with me. But now Dan and Angela are here to join us for this final adventure, hopefully. We have Leanne, aka Piggy, back once again. Woo! Welcome back.
I'm back with far less regrets for this movie.
Well, listen, you were on for the Child's Play episode, which came after those, so at least you didn't end it on a sour note. You know, you came on. You're coming off of a good movie, but now
it's true.
We're back in Raccoon City again, Piggy. Did you think we were going to be back here 2 years later?
I was expecting it, but I was really hoping not.
you got that message from me and you were like, fuck, we got to go back.
It's like I haven't even watched this one yet. I'm still not over the trauma of the first one.
Well, you got to think, when we last talked about one of these movies, that show, which I want to talk about the show just a little bit. I don't know if everyone here has seen the Netflix show, but I do want to talk about it a little bit before we talk about this movie. But that show came out, and then this one came out shortly after we had covered all of the Resident Evil movies. And we had talked about how we were going to talk about it at some point, but it was like, when is the time going to be? A lot of things happen in our lives, and so we found a perfect time, and it's here now. But yeah, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City was directed by Johannes Roberts, who directed the 47 Meters Down movies, which is the shark movies about the people who get like stuck in a shark cage. Movies that I surprisingly haven't seen. You know, movies about sharks, and I haven't seen them. But yep, that's it. And he directed the sequel to a movie we have covered on this show, The Strangers Pray at Night. But he is a huge fan of the Resident Evil franchise, so he, came on board and really wanted to stay loyal to the franchise. I think the biggest problem was they were like, instead of just focusing on one game, let's focus on two at the same time. And as we talk about this, I think that's the biggest issue with this. So this was released November 19th, 2021 in Paris, November 24th, 2021 in the United States, which was the exact day of the 25th anniversary of the original game back in 1996. And this was also, I'm trying, I hear crying now.
Yes.
Same minute.
I'm gonna keep this all in the episode. I don't give a shit.
Fitting.
But yeah, they purposely tried to
live with shadow people.
There's creepy children like singing in this movie, so I guess that's a good addition to this episode. But yeah, they wanted to coincide the release of this movie, since it is a more loyal adaptation to the games. They wanted to coincide it with the idea. Hold your hand. I know Dan his head is going to be in his hand probably the majority of this episode, and I've expected it, and I don't care. It's happening.
Just carry on.
But yeah, 25 years after the release of Resident Evil on the PS1 back in 1996. Also, it coincided with some other anniversary. I can't remember. But yeah, it was released on like 5 different dates, because in Germany it was released on the 25th, and then the UK was released on December 3rd. It was a little bit too long at 1 hour and 47 minutes there, and we'll talk about how there were some scenes in this movie that just dragged on a little bit. It had a budget of $25 million and made $42 million at the box office, which is one of the lowest box office returns for a Resident Evil movie, which is just so sad, because this is nowhere near, I will state it right now, nowhere near as bad as most of the other Resident Evil films. because a lot of them, and I've said it many times in the show, and I will continue to say it, as much as I've changed my tune about being super critical about movies, the Resident Evil franchise is just hot garbage. Most of it.
See, I think what ended up happening with that is the fact that we've all just been so burned on all the other Resident Evil movies.
Absolutely.
And like we keep going back and back and back, and we finally learned our lesson, but it happened to be with something that was far better than even if you combined all of the original movies together. So sadly, they just kind of got the aftershock of all of that.
Mm-hmm. So we have a returning actress. This is I think the first time in the show's history, other than what we talked about last week, where like if we're covering a franchise, like of course the Alien franchise, most of it has Sigourney Weaver in it. But this is the first time we're talking about consecutive movies that have nothing to do with each other, that have the same actress. Because we talked about Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, which starred Kaya Scodelario. She plays Claire in this movie. Yeah, and we had Hannah John Kamen, who played Jill Valentine. She played Ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp. We had Robbie Amell, who I always thought was Stephen Amell's brother, the guy from Arrow, but he's his cousin. I didn't know that. I always thought it was his brother. But the funny thing is he's been in a lot of stuff, but for me, I just remember seeing him on like those shitty live action Scooby-Doo movies that Cartoon Network decided to pump out in like the mid 2000s. Like after people just got over the original 2 live action Scooby-Doo. So like, let's pump him out. And then he showed up as Fred and you're like, okay, well, he's got dark hair. This doesn't make any sense. We have Tom Hopper as Wesker, Yvonne Jogia as Leon. We have Donald Logue as what was his name? Brian Irons, Captain Irons. Neil McDonough, who's like, you need a villain in a movie? I'll be that guy. He plays William Birkin. And we have Marina Mazeppa, who plays Lisa Trevor. We have Janet Porter, who plays Annette Birkin, and Holly Day Barros as Sherry Birkin. Oh, and I guess we can mention Richard Akins, played by Chad Rook, and Vickers is played by Nathan Dales. Those are kind of the main players of this movie. Also, Josh Krudas as Ben Bertolucci, who we'll talk about as we go through the plot. But yeah, this was originally going to be a James Wan film. He actually expressed major interest in this once, I think it was a couple years after the final chapter came out. And there was a whole thing where, he was going through it. He was going to make it super dark. His idea actually would be a big influence in the 8th game of the franchise. They kind of wanted to venture more into that on the big screen, but then the games kind of took the ideas and kind of ran with it. And then there was just a lot of creative differences with him and another writer. And so they brought in Johannes Roberts, who I guess was a big Resident Evil fan. And the rest is history. He also wrote the film. And Paul W.S. Anderson's name pops up in the credits, but I don't think he had anything to do with this movie. I think it's mostly because his production company is that Constantine Pictures, so I'm guessing that's why his name was there, and probably because he's been such a big part of this franchise. Per se, me and Paul W.S. Anderson, we're never going to be friends.
No. If I saw him on the street, I'd fight him. I would just straight up fight him for doing dirty to the Resident Evil franchise as he did.
Yeah. But yeah, this was I think what people needed, like as much as I think this is a movie that has a lot of discourse because of the fact that they took the first 2 games and kind of merged it together. And I think that's a big problem because there's the cohesion and how things are going. The events are kind of just all thrown all over the place. But, it's the most loyal to the games that we've ever gotten in this franchise. So that's a plus, right, Dan?
Sure. I'd care more if they actually got it right ever in all the movies they've ever made, but sure.
Very true.
Even
very
remotely close.
Yeah. But I do want to mention a little bit about the show that Netflix put out. It's not good. That's my review of that show. It's just an absolute mess. They did not know what they were doing with it. They had characters just show up randomly that were just completely different from their counterparts in the games. They connected it to the games. They even mention events from games. Like they no joke. I mean, I'm not recommending it. The only reason I would recommend is because Lance Reddick, R.I.P., was he played Wesker in the show. And he's good. I mean, he's always fun to watch, but it's just such a mess. You're just like, what are we doing here? Where are we going? Like, he is a clone of Wesker. And they mentioned the fact that he died in a volcano, because isn't that what happens in, was it 5?
Yeah.
Because he mentions the whole punch in the rock thing, and him dying in a volcano, and this whole thing. It's an absolute mess. I think the only thing I probably could give it props for is I think the visuals look fine. Like, to be honest, I think the CGI in the show looks way better than the CGI in any of the movies, because this movie doesn't do any justice to the creatures of Resident Evil lore. But yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about when it comes to the show. It's just not good. I'm a sucker for, I'm a completionist. I have to, if I start a show, I gotta finish it. And I watched the whole thing, and I was like, oof. And then it got canceled, and I said, I can see why. There's a lot of problems with this show.
The show itself, like, because I watched the first several episodes. I did not watch past that, but like, from what I saw, if you go into it not knowing anything about Resident Evil, you've never seen any of the other movies, you've never seen any of the other shows, you've never played any of the games. If you go into this not knowing anything about Resident Evil, which there's not very many people on this earth that haven't had exposure to it somehow. But if you go into it with no exposure, it's a moderately acceptable show. Yeah. It's got a plot line, it explains everything, it keeps things pretty interesting, it can hold your attention. But if you know anything about Resident Evil, you're gonna hate this show so much, because it just doesn't, it's not cohesive enough. It's not what we want. It's not what we were looking for. And it is just, once again, a weird other side shoot that missed the target entirely.
I agree. To me, it was like it kind of played like a game, because it like had boss battles. Like she like the main character, she's a Wesker, because it's about the Wesker's kids. Like it literally splits it between them being kids, going to New Raccoon City because of the events of Raccoon City being nuked, and then it transfers to them being adults, and one of them literally fights like a kaiju-sized caterpillar, and then in one episode she fights a kaiju-sized fucking crocodile. Like it's fucking bizarre. Like the show is just bizarre. The decisions that they made, like even watching, like Netflix even put out like behind, like, watch the making of the episode, and I'm watching it, and listen, everyone seemed to have a lot of fun making the show, but I can understand why people were way worse critically than I am right now. Like people were just like, this is possibly the worst show I've ever seen in my life. I wouldn't say that. I've seen far worse things. But it's just, Resident Evil fans are mad or didn't like it. Yeah, I understand. Because I understand trying to do something new, but it was just way off base. Like, we're just losing the focus of what Resident Evil is all about.
I just don't get why we keep going on these weird, like, side adventures.
Right?
Like, they had a perfect chance. And a lot of us fans could have looked past, like, everything else and having totally different actors and actresses and just having a totally different cast than what we've seen, like trying to get people who look similar to the people in the games.
Yeah.
Like a lot of us can completely look past that. And I was super stoked to have Riddick as Wesker. Like I was so excited because he just does a phenomenal bad guy.
Yeah.
And yet we never really got bad guy Wesker.
No.
Like we never got what he's best at in the show as the character that he's supposed to be. And that's what killed me. That's why I stopped watching it. I was like, he's not being the bad guy. He's just being ultra dad mom. Like, what is this?
Listen,
So
Dan, Angela, are you guys ever planning on watching this show?
Yeah, absolutely fucking
Okay,
not.
spoiler alert
I
for
watched
the
one
Resident.
episode of it.
Okay,
That's about it.
Spoiler alert for anyone who is interested in watching the show. I'm gonna say spoilers because I'm gonna mention probably the dumbest fucking thing in this show, and that is, so you find out that the Wesker, their dad, is a clone of the original Wesker, like the one who dies, but he doesn't die. He shows up he cloned himself to do other tasks and locks him in like a basement, and then shows up looking like he just came from Comic-Con as in a Blade cosplay, just in the trench coat with the sunglasses, just looking completely goofy. Like I said, Lance Reddick is awesome. And it's so tragic that we lost him so early because he is such a great actor. But they did him dirty in this one scene where he is supposed to be the real Wesker, coming in all looking cool, and he doesn't look cool at all. He looks ridiculous. And I'm just like, is this a parody? Like, am I watching a serious show right now? This is awful. This is so bad.
I'm so glad that I have not gotten to that part in the show.
No, seriously, just watch that scene. Just go and watch. Look it up. It's probably on YouTube. Just look up that scene. You will laugh your ass off because it's so funny.
I don't want to see them do him dirty, though. Like, you literally don't have to try to make him look like a bad guy.
Yeah,
and
when you make the guy from the other Resident Evil movies look like a better Wesker, that's bad. That's bad because that Wesker sucked. We talked about that a lot. All right. Well, are you guys ready to go through the plot of this movie?
Sure.
Let's do this thing. So this movie opens up to creepy kids singing because why not?
Yes, why? That's a great question.
So we see that two kids are sleeping. You kind of get that eerie atmospheric, darkness, and you got the nurse outside watching TV, laughing her ass off at whatever the hell she was watching.
Girls.
Is that did you say Golden Girls?
Yes.
Okay, you cut off, so it just said girls, and I was like,
sorry, Golden Girls.
Okay.
This is awesome.
She's laughing her ass off. And one of the kids is awakened by a dirty hand that just reaches for her, and it's just like, okay, we're starting off like this. To be honest, I like the opening of this movie. I thought it was interesting. It really, it had a creep factor to it that I enjoyed.
I'm not laughing at your opinion of that. I'm laughing at the context of this scene.
Oh, okay.
Carry on.
So she then gets up and she notices that the woman is like she's hiding behind a bunk bed. And she's like, what are you doing? Because I guess she's there all the time. Like, she's seen her multiple times. So it's kind of a normal thing. So the whole time that she's continuously trying to find her, I'm like, what are you doing? This is not a normal looking woman. Like, literally, this woman has a face on the side of her face. Like, this is creepy. Don't follow her around. Yeah, she just wanders this orphanage looking for this creepy woman. And I'm just saying why the entire time. And then she finds her in a tent in this room. And I went, don't go in the tent. Don't go near the tent. And she's like, I want to be your friend. Can I come in the tent? And she goes in the tent. She's gone. She just disappears. Except for there's a doll that's just sitting there. But then the Neil McDonough's character pulls her out of there. And you find out that this is Claire Redfield and her brother Chris. And he pretty much states, oh yeah, she sleepwalks. So that's why she's here. Because she tries to explain the fact that there was this woman, and they're like, oh, that's cute. You're just seeing things. But you also find out that the woman's name is Lisa Trevor.
Yep. It really is.
This is fun. I can't wait to continue this.
No, it's very out of place and doesn't make any sense. But carry on.
But yeah, she asks her where she lives, and she says below. And then that's when she walks into the tent and she disappears. So the creepy lady gives her one last scare. When she goes back to bed, it's like the jump scare where, she lurches at her, and then, Claire wakes up and it's her adult self. So I guess Another fun thing that connects this movie to the last movie we talked about was that the actor who played Henry Turner in the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie was actually auditioned to play Chris Redfield in this.
Oh God, I fucking wish they would have gave it to him.
You don't like
Please.
Robbie Amell?
No. Well, he's. I don't really hate him. He just doesn't do anything. Like, I enjoyed Henry in the other one, but doesn't mean he would have been good in this.
Right. So yeah, we see adult Claire, and she's hanging out with this obnoxious truck driver who just won't shut the fuck up. Like, just
Dude, listen.
stop talking.
Oh, good.
No,
That whole the hamburger on the dash is the most canon thing in this movie.
That's true.
I was like, Go ahead.
I was gonna say that scene, I was just like, yeah, like getting really excited about it because they had the hamburger.
That juicy ass burger, dude.
but he just
Good
keeps
one.
going. Yes, the burger looked delicious, but then he just keeps talking because he's like, "Oh, so
Yep.
you're going to see your brother? Oh, we're going to Raccoon City. Raccoon City's a shithole." Blah 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 blah. Blah. I just kept going. Just shut up, man.
Why does he need to explain this?
It's literally like he's giving us exposition that I don't need.
Excuse me, it's exposition in the worst way possible too.
He's been alone for a while. He's got to get his words in. For
He's
the
got
day.
a dog. You could talk to the dog.
The dog doesn't talk back. though.
Well, so
And of course, he gets a little handsy. Don't do that, guys. That's
No.
Don't touch people.
It'll get you smacked.
And of course, while he's doing this, he is not paying attention to the road, and he ends up hitting someone. And so, and the whole
Gosh, he deserved
time,
it.
yeah, and then he just continues being obnoxious. Like, shut up! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! What's happening? Is she dead? Is she dead? Yes. You just fucking go away.
I'm commonly a purveyor of the word fuck, but this dude marinates it in this
Yeah.
scene. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, I get it. You're freaked out. Chill out.
Yeah,
dude.
he goes a little too far. And she investigates the body, but then like they're talking to each other, and they turn around, and the body's gone. And what is and then the dog? There's a Doberman in there
Dobie
because you
is
have
his
to.
name now.
Yep, you got to have a Doberman in a Resident Evil movie. It's the only kind of dog you can have turn into a zombie dog.
It's the only dogs that exist in that universe.
Yes.
Yep. they're
So
all
the dog
Cerberus.
comes out, and like this dog immediately runs to the blood in the road and just starts going to town on it. Like
is
snack
this his
time.
normal diet? Like,
in reality,
what is
he
this?
would have went for the rest of the burger because I can guarantee he didn't eat the rest of that burger. He would have been chowing on that burger. He would have been licking up that packaging, just kind of sitting in the middle there. He doesn't want to get the fuck. He's not. Why would he go straight for the blood?
Well, because he's owned by a truck driver, and in truck drivers they just kill prostitutes, so the dog disposes of the body.
Well, all right. Angela, wasn't that,
Controversial statement number one.
wasn't that part of the new Dexter's?
That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, then Claire like looks into the woods, and just the lady's just standing in the woods in the shadows. To be honest, like these shots are good. I like these shots.
Yeah,
But,
the shot of the girl in the tree I thought was well.
Yeah, like
there's some
seeing her in the
good camera
woods, like in
work
the shadows, and
in this movie.
this
The opening is something else. Like, it is actually what I have always wanted of a Resident Evil movie, and it gave me a lot of hope for the rest of the movie.
yeah, I mean, it this movie plays. I mean, it gives you like timestamps throughout the movie that pretty much show you that this all takes place in one night. So it's always dark, which I
Mhm.
feel that's how it should be in a Resident Evil anything.
Yep.
So then that's when we get the I like the title card. I like how it shows up where it just says Resident Evil, and I'm like, they could have just called this movie Resident Evil, but then it's got the sign that says Welcome to Raccoon City, and then under it just says fuck Umbrella.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
I was like, I like how they did that. Because to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the fact that this is called Welcome to Raccoon City. Or
Me
just
either. I think
just call it Raccoon City. Or just call it Resident Evil. Who cares if there's already a Resident Evil movie? They've done it all. They do it all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
So we get told the story of Raccoon City, but we know the story. It tells you get the text across about, you know, everything that's going on. And everyone pretty much evacuated the city except for a select few. So you have the STARS members, and you have some of the Raccoon City police that are still there.
Well, there's still people in the town, but it's kind of going down the shitter.
Yeah, it's not like in the prior series where it was like a huge, like Raccoon City is this fucking city. Like this is like a small town. Like it's not a bustling city like we've seen before. This is when we go to the diner and we meet Leon, we meet Wesker, we meet Jill, and I think it was it's
either Vickers or Aiken. I can't remember who's there with him.
It was one of the two. These are two guys that literally are just there to get eaten. Like they
are in the game too. But
orders.
Yeah, they just don't play much into this.
That's accurate at least.
How did you like the placement of the Jill sandwich line in this?
No,
she takes the sandwich. She takes the sandwich from Wesker. It's like now it's I was like, really, right here? It's a Jill sandwich now.
Dude, there wasn't even the right person. You couldn't have replaced one of these other cocksuckers with Barry. You couldn't do that. We were too busy with everything else going on. So we were like, fuck Barry. He's not pivotal.
Wasn't Barry like a crucial piece of the first game, and he's just not in this?
Like, let's bring Aiken, the motherfucker that gets eaten by a snake. He's relevant. Like, yeah, good. GG. Good on you. Well, anyway,
thought it was funny, that line.
Dude. I don't even want to call the guy Leon in this movie. Leon?
No, that's Carlos.
He's not even Carlos. He's nowhere near. He's nothing. Anyway,
oh my God, I was looking so forward to this episode, and it's not disappointing everybody. This is bringing me back to all those other movies. God damn it. Oh.
I'll just preface this whole thing. I got more entertainment out of watching his reactions than I did from the movie.
I just remember getting a message before I watched it myself, and he's like, I'm having a hard time getting through this movie.
Yep.
I'm like, oh boy.
I mean, there came a point where he threw his phone, and he's like, "Why?
No,
Why?"
We'll get to that. I'll elaborate when we come to that moment.
So, it is. We get a timestamp. It's 11:17 p.m. We get two cops that show up, and I hate this type of dialogue where they come in and they have to give us this exposition dump about Leon, about why Leon's there, but they're also like giving him like. Yeah. Just talking shit, and I'm just like, why? We don't need this at all. It's dumb. So you find out that Leon he shot his partner in training, so he got sent here to whatever. It's just like, it's so dumb.
It's not important.
But they tell the others that there was a body reported up at the Spencer Mansion, and so they're like, okay, we're gonna go back to the station. And Leon's gonna, pay, and he's talking to the waitress there. I can't remember what her name was, and she's got blood pooling out of her eye. Like, it's not just a little drip. She's literally got blood oozing.
Right there, ma'am.
Yeah, he's like, that happened all the time, and she's like, oh yeah, it's fine. And
It's been a couple weeks. I'm like, oh, what?
What about the food?
Get some help.
That's a violation, ma'am.
I'm gonna get
yeah, like I can't with that part. I was just like, oh yeah, it's just just a normal allergies. It's fine.
It's fine, everybody.
My eyes bleed all the time.
Oh,
like,
it's fine.
Allergies are rough here.
And right before he walks, right after that encounter, then a crow crashes into the window outside the diner. And you see the crow is not looking so good. We then get to see the truck driver driving, to the middle of the town, and the dog's not looking so good. And the dog just takes a big old chomp out of his hand or out of his arm. It's either his hand or his arm.
Hand.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Okay. The little things I don't pay attention to. He got bit by the dog. That's why you're here, Dan, to correct me.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm here for something.
Oh,
it's suffering.
Yes.
With the rest of us.
Yep. That's why Dan didn't want to be part of the other.
No, actually, I did want to be part of the other one. You're like, sit out of this, you cocksucker.
Like, you've been doing this long enough. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're not a co-host yet.
You're like Broom pushing me into the cage. Get in there.
It's like, I'm not making enough money to pay you yet.
You'll get your slop later.
Oh, so Claire goes home and she sees the really creepy looking boy staring out the window. He's not looking so good, but he waves and she's like, okay. And then you see the mother. She not looking so good either. She's just like, yeah.
Don't look at us.
So Claire just walks into her brother's house and just picks up a pizza. Doesn't know how long it's been there. Just picks it up, eats it. I'm like, that's nasty.
Yep.
I just mentioned that she smell tests it after she takes a bite.
And doesn't spit it out.
Yeah, like she takes a bite and then she's like,
yeah,
and like puts it down like it's gross and bad.
Yep.
But she took a bite and ate it.
It's
None of this. This is what started like making me angry. I was like, okay, weird kid and his mom, sure, whatever. It's Raccoon City. Things happen like that all the time. Lady was just bleeding out of her eye and it's an everyday occurrence. Like, that's fine. I'm willing to overlook this. But the pizza.
Why the pizza? We don't even know what kind. It was too dark. I couldn't see the toppings. What are you eating? We need this.
We need to know what kind of meats are on the top of this so we know if it's actually good or bad. Like, this might be how you got infected.
Yeah.
We then get a very awkward conversation between Claire and Chris. When Chris comes downstairs and notices it's her, she's got his helmet on. I was like, okay. But it was like such an awkward interaction with each other. Like the whole thing where she sees the picture of Chris and the doctor there. And he's like, when you left, he was like a father to me. And she's like, you know why I left, right? Like, it sucked here. He sucked.
I'm not your dad.
Yeah. It was a weird interaction that I wasn't a huge fan of. And Chris is just oblivious to everything that's happening. Like, he is just completely, like, she is trying to warn him of things. You know, she tells him about this guy that she talked to on like a group chat or whatever it was, because this takes place in 1998.
Yeah.
So,
a chat
room.
Like,
yeah. She's like, I'm talking, what the hell? Yeah. So, you know, she then shows him the video of the guy explaining the fact that Umbrella is slowly poisoning the town. But the only reason that the cops are not affected by it is because they pretty much got like a vaccine that prevents them from turning. He doesn't say anything about zombies, but he just says like, that's why everyone's sick. That's why all those people are the mother and the son. They didn't look so good. So Claire shows him the video. People are slowly being poisoned. It sucks. And then we jump back to seeing Claire as a kid with the doctor. But then I was like, nope, that's not Claire. That's just the doctor's daughter. It was such a weird transition. I thought we were going to a flashback where like the doctor adopted Chris and Claire, but nope, that was just the doctor's daughter. I'm like, this was so weird.
Yeah, it almost seems like the whole them being raised by him was not important.
I wish it was. I wish that was a plot point. I wish it was like he adopted them and then something happened where she ran away. And then, you know, that's why the strain you have the strain between Chris and Claire. But no, it was just, we'll get to exactly why she left in a little bit. But, yeah, so the doctor finds out something that he needs to rush out of there real quick.
We need to leave, pack the shit.
Yep.
Gotta go.
So we then see Chris leaving. And of course, right before he leaves, he's like, I have a motorcycle. Don't touch the motorcycle. And she goes, okay, I'm going to make sure once you leave, I take that motorcycle.
Exactly.
Before that.
What are little siblings for?
Yeah. Well, then. Yeah. Well, once Chris leaves, she discovers the little boy is hiding under the table. And then the mother is outside the door writing itchy scratchy on itchy tasty on the door in blood. Hey, I wonder who bought you that book.
It's someone pretty cool. Kind of okay. Yeah.
I've heard
Definitely
good and bad things about him, but I digress.
Did make me watch the original Resident Evils.
You know, I have in my notes that it says itchy tasty and I still said the wrong thing. Maybe read your notes, dumbass. But
itchy
here's
and
the
tasty
thing.
show.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense from the game, the reason behind that phrase in the game. It doesn't make sense because in the game, let me try to explain it, and you guys correct me while I explain it, is that it was, wasn't it somebody who was, they had like a diarrhea, and as they were being slowly infected, their brain was getting all fucked up, and that was like something they wrote in the diary?
Yes.
Okay.
It was somebody who was infected with the original Tyrant virus, not the T virus that turns people into zombies, but the one that turns them into like the weird mutants. And as he changed, he was losing his like cognition and his mental stability, and he wrote itchy tasty because he was very itchy from like his skin sloughing off, and he was really hungry because he's
wasn't he
turning into a zombie.
eating like one of his coworkers or something,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
was why
yeah.
he said tasty?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things we've passed so far in this movie that don't make sense with
No.
games. So,
Well, Dan,
you know what?
Speak up when we get to those points.
Well, no, I mean we got a lot because
Okay.
Chris and Claire were not raised by Professor Birkin. They had nothing.
Well, they
to
weren't
do
in
with
this
that.
movie either. I don't think Chris technically
Well,
was.
no. I mean, they weren't in the home with him. Lisa Trevor did not know Claire growing up. She was in the Spencer mansion, even though Birkin did do some experiments on her.
That's what happens when you blend two games together.
Dude, none of this shit happened. The first game happens first, then this stuff happens. The second game does not happen during the first move, before the first game. Claire rode a motorcycle into town, did not hitchhike with this fucking dude. Like in the truck. Was none of this is relevant. Did not break into her brother's home. None of this was. He could have still drove in with the hamburger and had all the shit happen where he hit the girl and her not be there.
It could have just been the whole original start to the game, rather than this weird makeshift combo of both the first and second game together.
Why? Here's a thought. And I've mentioned it before when I talked about the Last of Us show, because that show is very loyal to the game, where it starts and finishes the way the game is, and then they added some things that weren't in the game, but it made sense to the whole story. Why can't they just do that with this franchise? There's so much there to work with, and you still are like, why couldn't you just make a movie based on the first game?
I think the reason why they smashed 1 and 2 together is because 2 does start close to the end of the first game. Like the going-ons in game 2 happen roughly at the same time. And it's a consecutive.
After. It's after.
Yeah. It's not even a couple hours after, though, isn't it? Like,
I thought it was several days. It's like not like immediately after. Yeah, I thought. I could be remembering wrong, but
isn't 3 like a prequel to 2? Like what?
3 starts before 2, but ends after 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 is like in the middle of both of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because that's why. Because Jill, it's been long enough since that for some things to happen with Jill. It may be a couple weeks. I don't think it's a couple days. I think there's a small duration of time before the 2 actually jump. You can double check me, but I'm pretty sure. But there's just, it doesn't make sense. Like, this guy's like, I'm dedicated to the game, and like, loves the game, he's a director, writer, whatever the fuck ever. But it felt like, I'm going to take these things and change them around for, admittedly, I know they'll change stuff. I get it. I understand that. But they changed some stuff around for no good fucking reason. And he's like, I'm just going to put these Easter eggs in it for people who know the thing. And that's all it felt like. It's just like, look at these little Easter eggs. These are neat. Like, no, just give us a fucking whatever. I can't. Cohesive film. Just give us a fucking cohesive movie. That's all we want. That's it. Just make one of a movie. Do it fucking remotely right before you say, I'm going to do my own thing. Like, nobody's done one even remotely correct.
So
that's my biggest
this is when Claire discovers the little boy under the table, and then the mom just fucking barrels into the house through the back door, and she jumps on Claire, and that's when she's just screaming, itchy tasty, and she gets fucking tossed off, and that's when Claire's like, I'm gonna take the bike because fuck these people. So we then get to the police department, and the chief, he's a little on edge about whatever the hell is happening, because he doesn't understand, but he does at the same time. You see Wesker, he gets a message on his beeper, which definitely just shouts, just screams 90s.
Yep.
The Palm Pilot.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, he picks that up later.
Yeah, that
Sorry,
was
no,
that was in his locker because
pager.
it tells him, go to your locker to whatever. And I just love that Leon just walks into the back of the room as he's like talking, and he's just like, "What the fuck are you doing here, Leon?" He's like, "You said everybody." He's like, "No, not everybody does not mean you. Get back to the front desk." Shit. He flips out on him.
I like that it was a little bit of an explanation of what the Spencer Mansion was, and then it's just like he's totally normal and just like, yeah, it's the Spencer Mansion, where the Spencers are and they do all of their stuff, and what the fuck are you doing here? Like,
well, yeah, we also
there might be an old lady needing their cat saved.
And also we had to be explained what the Spencer Mansion is and who, it's the guy who founded Umbrella and pretty much, built Raccoon City. So,
yeah, we could have had a precursor to the whole movie of just Spencer, though. And it could have just been a short little tidbit of just like, boop, here's Resident Evil 0, because none of the plot in that game actually matters.
Yeah, I'm surprised. There's another thing later we'll get to that it makes no fucking sense for it to be in this movie. But why didn't they just bring in James Marcus for no fucking reason? Because they don't. They don't mention... well, we'll get to that later. But anyway, there's some weird mentions of shit. I'm like, why did you even bring that up? It's not even important.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... Anyway.
So they get tasked to go to the Spencer Mansion because the two cops that got sent there, they're not reporting back. So they got to figure out what happened to them.
That's our Bravo team. 2 fucking people. 2 people are our Bravo
cops.
Team. Not the 5 or 6 that were actually fucking Bravo team. 2 people.
And so Wesker gets the Palm Pilot out of his locker, gives him instructions about what he needs to do once he gets to the mansion. And this is when the doctor, who's speeding away, trying to get to wherever he's got to go, almost hits Claire on the bike. And of course, when you see someone and they're wearing a helmet and you just flip it up so you see their eyes, you know exactly who it is.
Absolutely.
I'm like, you don't have an eye.
100%.
And it's pouring. It's pouring rain out. I was like, you are not noticing who this person is.
It's reverse Superman syndrome.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, she probably could see him, maybe, but it's pouring, so probably not. It was just a weird interaction. But this is when you get the
when you have bright light shining in your eyes, you can't see
anything.
You can't see anything. So
And then you go to look at
That's
something
great.
else, and you're just seeing like silhouettes of things. You're just like, I shouldn't have stared directly into the headlights of that.
Look, the other day, someone who works at a store that I go into very frequently, and I recognize them and I know them, they came into my store and purchased something, and I had no idea who they were. And then I went into that store and purchased my thing, and I still didn't recognize them again. You think I'm going to recognize somebody, like, just barely flipping up a little visor and being like, oh, look.
Do you remember
It's
me?
your eyeball.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
No.
It's like, no, I don't. I can't remember. Like, it's like people that
I
I went to
forget my
school
high
with.
school-
That's me with names. Like, if I see somebody I went to like high school with, and they're just like, I know you, but I can't remember your name.
I called one of my high school
Okay,
friends
buddy.
that I used to hang out with daily. His name is Caleb. I called him Mitchell.
Close.
Close enough.
I introduced him to my mom because we were all just there, and I was like, yeah, this is Mitchell, and he's like, Caleb, and I was like, Mitchell.
I know I get people that come into work all the time. They're like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, I have no idea who you are."
Hey, you
Hey,
Yeah.
you.
guy.
So this whole interaction, though, like, forces a flashback of showing that Claire is being told that she's going to be adopted, but something sinister is going to happen, and you get that whole thing where she's being let out. And then it goes back to our, normal time, and that truck driver, he's not looking so good now. He is flying down the road, and his eyes are beet red. He is fucking clutching that freaking steering wheel, and he is barreling down this road.
All I can
And
think of is Ace Ventura in the van.
yes,
This is a bumpy road.
nonsense, poopy pants.
It's all nonsense.
Thank you.
So we got Leon, who is put on the front desk, who is listening to some Crush. I'm just like, what a perfect song.
Here I am singing the song.
I'm
and
sorry,
he's like,
but the song is
what
such a
song
perfect,
is this?
I knew it
perfect
was, but
choice.
I love the music. All of the music in this. I'm sitting there jamming out to it.
But listen, there's no way he doesn't hear this truck crash and blow up directly in front of the wide open doors to this police station. Why are the doors wide open?
Yep.
So
I have a problem with this and another.
Okay. So I guess in the game, the police station used to be like a museum. That's why it looks like this.
Yeah.
That's why it's got the gate and stuff like that. But like, but this still has regular doors. Why are the doors? They don't even look like they have doors there. They're just non-existent. But then they do.
Doors were not in the budget.
But then there is doors later because they have to shut them when the infected start beating on them. But this dude blows up in his truck and then just don't get me wrong. This scene is possibly one of my favorite scenes just because it's just that song is playing as this man is engulfed in flames, just casually walking into the lobby of this. And Leon has no idea until it's like right there and he notices and the captain shoots the guy.
So check this out. This scene came on. Angela, this is one of my moments. This scene comes on. It cuts from him listening to the actual movie soundtrack of this song playing. Mm-hmm. This zombie walking out entirely in flames. And I turned to my wife and I was like, who the fuck did they make this movie for? Because it wasn't Resident Evil fans. I don't remember this shit happening. I don't remember fucking Crush Blair or whatever the fuck band this is. And zombies walking in and being all like tee-hee, tongue-in-cheek. Like, no. When did this happen in the franchise? Never.
I was just curious as to where the dog was.
And Irons just comes out and drops this motherfucker. He doesn't know what he's wrong with it. This man's on fire, but he just shoots him.
Yeah.
Irons does not technically, if you go by what's displayed in this movie, does not know what the fuck is going on right here.
I mean, even if I didn't know what was going on and I saw a man engulfed in flames just casually walking up to someone, I probably would react in a similar way.
Why would your instinct be to shoot the guy? Wouldn't it be to grab a fire extinguisher?
My instinct would be to put the fire
because
out.
I feel like Irons does know what is happening in this town to a degree.
That's true.
Well, if they made him like they were supposed to, he would know what's happening in this town, but they don't because he's a fucking wasted character in this movie. Just like most everybody else is in this movie.
They could have made him so good, and they only needed to add one tiny, short little like snippet into the movie that might have been maybe 2 minutes long, and it would have made him everything that you needed to know about him from the games.
And it takes him from... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, because Irons should not have been seen as like a moderately acceptable person with a temper, because that's what he is in this movie.
That's what Donald Logg is good at. He is good at being an angry cop or he's just an angry guy. Like, not probably in real life, but like in movies and shows.
Well, that's the thing is like, he goes like, you know, Piggy's saying here is it goes from literally an actual legitimate villain in the Resident Evil franchise he's a fucking serial killer without being convicted of being a serial killer. He's a horrible human being. And in this movie, he's just an angry, pissed off boss.
Yeah,
that's all he is. He's just a waste of a character.
I listened to a podcast. I listened to a couple podcasts that talked about this movie. And the podcast was Half Price Horror. Check out their Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City episode. It's Half Price Horror. Stop making fun of the way I say horror, Dan.
It says horror.
Damn it. No, but I just listened to his episode and he goes through the plot in a shortened way, but also puts in a lot of facts about the games compared to the movie and stuff. And he talks about how Irons is in the game. And I was just like, I just feel like when it comes to, you know, doing an adaptation of a game or a book or something, you're just like, oh, that seemed like a pretty important character, but like, how's he going to make sense to this story right now? But let's at least just put his name in there. He doesn't have to be anything like his character in the game, but let's just use the name because people are going to recognize it.
Yep.
But then you have you know, fans like you who are just like, no, don't do that. Just fucking make up a name. Just make up just a random person. Who cares?
Or don't have him in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, just don't have him. Like, there was the problem with blending these two things. Like, if you would have just done one movie and focused on the characters from one fucking game, it probably would have made more sense. You could have focused on your characters, but you're like, no, let's introduce all this shit from the second and other games that are not directly tied to this immediately.
Yeah. So the captain packs up all his stuff and leaves and puts Leon in charge. And Leon's like, what? Excuse me? He's like, your dad will be proud of, I can't remember the exact line, but it's like, your dad's going to be so proud of what his disappointment of a son is rising through the ranks so fast.
Dude, how do you take a character as good as Leon S. Kennedy? Fucking awesome character. Even his first day as a cop, there was a party for him when he was going. On his first day, there was a party for him to be there on the games. And you make him this worthless piece of shit that does almost nothing for this entire fucking movie. This is no different in my perspective from the 1998 Godzilla. They literally just slapped the name on a character that doesn't act like the actual Godzilla.
Don't you dare.
I did it, and that's exactly what Leon... Dude, I'm telling you. I don't know how familiar you are
with Resident Evil games.
Fucking play them.
Leave Zillow alone.
But I still like that movie now. But it's not Godzilla, and this motherfucker is not Leon S. Kennedy.
No, absolutely not. When the first time I saw him, I was like, wow, they put Carlos in this movie way early. And
that's
then
who I thought it was.
And then they're like, that's Leon. And I'm like, first of all, like everybody else is typecasted for their character except Leon. Leon is the only person in this whole movie that is just totally like left field, does not look anything like his character whatsoever, doesn't act like his character, doesn't do anything like Leon. And then they're like, we're gonna also make Leon, who is this entire franchise's like boner machine for everybody who plays this game. Everybody, you can't tell me
gay for Leon. It's fine.
Yeah, there's no shame in falling in love with Leon. Everybody does it. Everybody has a Leon phase, and most of us don't grow out of it. But like, they took that. And then they were like, we have this beautiful baby that we need to cherish. Let's turn him into a bitch boy. And they turned him into this. And I was like, why would you do this?
I don't.
Of all the people.
I have no problem with them, changing his race or whatever. I don't care about that.
I don't care.
Just like make him the character though. Like he needs to be that guy. And like as someone who has played some of the Resident Evil games and has played the ones that Leon has been in, yes, he doesn't feel like Leon. Like
he doesn't act like him, and he doesn't have the persona of Leon at all. Because like I can get past any type of casting as long as it suits the character's feel. Because you can't mimic the video games. Like you can't just perfectly pull those people out and put them into real life. That doesn't happen. But like that just was not Leon. If anything, it felt like Carlos.
Sorry, I just heard a motorcycle go by, so I was like, where is it coming from?
I'm not trying to interrupt Piggy because she's going, and I'm listening, and I hear this. Whoa! I'm like, what? He's going.
That was probably me.
This episode is going to be so full of noises. It's going to be people are going to be like, what the fuck is going on here?
But even if you play like Resident Evil, like I mean, he's kind of a little bit of a mopey dude, but Carlos, he at least does shit. Like I don't mind Carlos, but this dude, like he was just like. I literally, if they would have just made it like a cardboard cutout of Leon for the video games and carried him around all movie, that would have been more accepting of this.
Oh my god, that would have been so good. Just like an actual
standees.
They
just
have
a
to super serious movie, and it's just a cardboard cutout of Leon.
They'll occasionally
in the corner.
There'll be like a speech bubble above it. What was that, Leon? And they'll be like,
got a voiceover line, and it's just a cardboard cutout, and like it zooms in on him all dramatic.
Please.
So we meet up with Chris and the rest of the STARS crew, and as they're getting flown in to the Spencer Mansion because it's like on some mountain that's hard to access because of
Arclay Mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, you're good. We got you.
Yep. Trust me, my notes don't get that detailed, everybody. They land, and I'm like, are we landing on one of the islands from Jurassic Park? Because that's some big old claw marks on the side of that Jeep right there. Like I feel like that was a slight homage to Jurassic Park. It's literally the same. It's a Jeep Wrangler with the same rims because it's a 90s Jeep.
Okay.
It just with the big claw marks, I was like, I don't think so, but I'm just gonna say it is.
Makes it better if it is.
Yeah, they're looking for the other two guys, and you get the zombified crow that just lands next to Wesker, and Jill just fucking shoots it within 3 feet of Wesker's face, and I was like, he should have been way more mad than he was.
I kind of like it's not really part of her character, but I kind of like the joke of her just being like trigger happy the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like for Jill, like I know it comes up a couple times, but I rather kind of enjoy that bit. But
and I like Hannah John Kamen, who plays Jill. I liked her performance. To be honest, I liked a lot of the Stars members in this movie, except I didn't mind Chris. I just didn't like Chris when he's interacting with his sister. They just didn't have that type of like brother-sister chemistry that I felt like we needed. I feel like he talks with the other members of Stars better. Like their dialogue is better. So the teams, they pair up to search the Spencer Manor. Yeah.
Sure.
Another part. This is the part where I drop my phone, mind you.
Is it because the mansion doesn't look right?
No. The mansion's actually relatively close. When they walk into the opening, it looks relatively close. This is my problem. Why did the start of the first game happen halfway through this fucking movie?
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is like a good amount of time.
This is how the movie should have started. Except they did one thing wrong. They were literally handed an idea on a platter since 1998. And somehow these people are like, you know what? Let's not do that idea. Why didn't dogs chase them into the mansion? That is how the first game starts. That is the reason why they can't leave the mansion, because there are dogs outside. Why did that not fucking happen? It is an easy idea. It's filmed live action in the original PlayStation game.
Because we have our dog, Dan, and he's not anywhere near this location.
But
he
they only
is somewhere else.
One dog.
Dude, I was fucking livid because they're given an idea, a golden idea for an action scene. And they're just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Like that would have been a beautiful portion of this, and like it could have just been done so magnificently too, because the opening, well, I say the opening even though it's halfway through the movie, that opening right there was amazing if it had been the dogs, because otherwise they're just going into the mansion just like, for the fun of it.
They're going in this movie. They're going in because they got to find those other two guys. That's their reasoning. But I agree.
But,
it should have been.
Are you really gonna send your entire team to go look for 2 people?
Right.
No.
Yeah. I think they also were like, go check out what the hell's going on up there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
no
still, like, I can't with a lot of it. And
just been the opening, dude. Like, fuck.
Being able. Like getting to this, like that it's in the center of the movie. I expected this to be so much less of the second game.
Yep. I thought that like it was going to do an order, like it was going to start with this, like just start the movie on this.
Yeah.
Like you could establish, if you want to do this, have this happen, kind of establish the team a little bit, have this happen, and then do like a cut thing, and then Claire comes to the town to look for her brother. And then you could kind of piece things that happened at the Spencer Mansion. Was not ideal, but it would make more sense than how the fucking beginning of this movie panned out to begin with.
Yeah. No, I like I think it would have worked better. It's like he's trapped in the Spencer Mansion. She comes back to town. Where's my brother? Oh, he went up to the Spencer Mansion. Oh, I guess I gotta go find a way to get up there.
Well, she doesn't even have to even know anything about that. It would just give a reason for her to be to Raccoon City. Like, oh, I'm going to go meet my brother. And he goes to the police station. He's not at the police station when she goes there for various reasons. But, not just that. But it would have worked better than what they had in here. But anyway, go ahead. This is actually, by the way, when they're in the mansion is probably my favorite part of the movie. If I was to have one. So.
Well, we go back to the captain who is driving away from everything. He's trying to get out of town. And he gets trapped in like a checkpoint, but it's not really a checkpoint. It's a you're not leaving the city type thing where the umbrella officers literally just open fire on people as they're trying to figure out how the hell to get out. It is now 1:50 a.m. We have infected people starting to gather at the gates of the police department. and they're just to be honest, I like this scene because they like come up to the gate. They're not like zombies, full zombies yet. They're just do you see like the waitress from the diner? She's there. She starts noticing that her hair, like she's pulling like part of her hair out because her hair, that's one of the side effects. And they're just like, let me in, and not like screaming it. They're just like creepily saying it. The captain has to come back after he almost gets shot, and he encounters this the infected dog from earlier, and it just looks awful.
A dog and dog.
When they show it up close, I was like, why can't they ever get the dog to look good? Because they, in this entire franchise, other than the first one, when they actually had dogs, when they were using dogs for certain scenes, this dog just, it looked like the render didn't finish. It was fuzzy in parts. I was like, what?
I forgot to download the texture pack.
They
here?
put a bunch of stuff into a mold, made an aspic out of it, and let it go.
I think the dogs
Like, it
in the
seriously
PS1 version of the game looked better than this dog.
Those were
And
scary.
those are
It
the
looks
most
like they put
pixelated
it
dogs ever.
Into a mold. There's a bunch of stuff underneath. They threw some slime over top of it, and
Yeah.
they're like,
It was ugh.
like, no, it's
Or woofers.
You know what's hilarious is the whole thing is like the blood of an infected person, if it gets like in an orifice, it can infect you. But like Claire is smashing the shit out of this dog. There's no way there's not blood splashing into her face. There's a scene
There's no
a little bit later
blood
where Leon,
everywhere.
Leon literally, I think shoots a zombie close range and no blood splatter. I'm
He's
like,
fine.
there's
He's good.
just what? That doesn't
He's
make
good. He's
sense.
golden.
Yeah, but
Fine.
Claire saves the captain by beating the dog up with a fire extinguisher.
And
And-
Leanne tells her to
Also-
drop her gun.
seriously.
Yep,
She doesn't.
Yeah,
he just shows up
'Cause he-
randomly at the end.
can't realize the difference between a gun and, a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
They're very similar in looks, I know.
Absolutely.
Drop your gun. I don't have one.
Like,
Like-
hello.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go inside to a place and tell everybody I've got a fire extinguisher on my hip and see how many people think it's a fire extinguisher. Like, okay.
Oh my goodness.
People.
so they all go back inside the police station, and this is when Claire sees that there's more people gathering outside, and she asks the captain about like how much firepower do you have, all that stuff, and yeah, so they have to stay strong in the police
Have a
station.
fire extinguisher, it'll work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
same thing.
And bash some heads.
That's why he shot the guy in the beginning, because he thought his gun was a fire extinguisher. The police like, I'll put you out. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I got confused.
Sorry.
that the joke?
I have one on each hip. I got confused which side. It's
Oh,
okay.
no.
Like, hey, I'm gonna reach into my pocket and grab this sandwich. Drop your gun. It's a sandwich.
Yeah.
So,
It's a Jill sandwich.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So we're back at the Spencer Mansion now, and this is when we get an iconic recreation of one of the most iconic shots in Resident Evil history, where they see the cop is getting eaten by one of the umbrella doctors or whatever it was, and you get the whole.
Mhm.
They note it does the slow turn. What'd you think of it? Did it look good?
They look good.
It's
I thought it
probably
was good.
one of the best scenes
Yeah.
in the whole movie.
Yeah. I love that they had that, and I love how close to the actual like game and the cover of the game as well
Mhm.
that zombie looked until you see him in the front.
Yeah.
He's
He looks good
he's
from
got
that
a good
shot.
he's got a good side. See his
Just
face.
stay
Yeah.
turned
But that's
sideways.
kind of
though.
like how most of the zombies are pretty in this movie. For me,
It's the
Yeah.
blood.
the blood looks like shit. There's too much CG blood too.
Oh, stop.
Use real blood,
Wow.
guys.
Why?
Come on, dude. Stop.
Why can't they do CG blood right? Like
use real blood.
yeah, just use fucking practical blood. Why can't CG blood be done right? It just looks awful every
And
time.
when they do use real blood, don't use red paint or
Oh, that-
watered down
Yeah.
ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of
the
them
super
look
fake
like
looking
it.
stuff. Nah.
Unless it's meant to be that way, like like in Sleepy Hollow, it's that like really vibrant red.
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
it's
the
on
blood.
purpose.
It's
Stylized.
because of the
purpose.
style. Yeah.
But use corn syrup and
banana oil.
And red food coloring.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest way.
But does it look real?
Yeah.
Under the right light.
I've seen it.
We're talking about a movie about zombies. Like, does it really need to be that real?
Well, that's part of
it
the
needs to look
that's the
better
point,
than
isn't
it
it? The
does.
gore
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
That's kind of
yeah.
the idea.
But I mean, to be honest, as Dan said earlier, like the shots inside the mansion, they actually like there were some creepy moments. Like the whole fact when Richard, I think that's the guy's name, goes up the stairs and you can hear somebody running upstairs. And I'm like, that's fucking creepy. Because you never know like where someone's gonna just show up.
Oh yeah.
And then he gets swarmed by a bunch of zombies. Chris gets swarmed by a bunch of zombies downstairs. Unfortunately, Richards can't hold him off and he gets eaten.
By Aiken. You couldn't be eaten by a snake. I'm sorry.
And Chris somehow escapes. I have no idea. Like the way that these zombies were attacking, I was like, there's no fucking way. But it was funny because they kind of mimic a lot of the attack. Like when you're getting attacked by a zombie in the game, you know how it's the fucking motion and then you just kind of throw them to the side. Like you kind of get that with a couple encounters, which I thought was fun. We then see Vickers, the pilot of the helicopter. He gets attacked by a zombie and somehow was able to get into the air afterwards.
He's playing Snake.
He was playing Snake.
He's good.
No,
the game on the Nokias.
Oh no, I know. I saw that. I saw that he was playing
love
Snake.
it.
I'm talking about he got attacked by a zombie while he was in there.
did.
Well, you got the
Correct.
hand on the window, and then he gets attacked by another one on the other side. We then have Wesker and Jill inside the library, and he plays the piano.
Moonlight Sonata.
Yep, and that
Should've been her.
opens. Yep, that opens up a door. Yeah, wasn't it
Should've been
her?
or
And then
Rebecca. Rebecca's nowhere to be found.
yeah, because it was like Chris.
God.
Chris couldn't play the piano in the game or something like that.
Because his hands were just fists. He's too busy punching boulders. He's like, I can't play like this.
True. You had to train to be able to punch that boulder in that one game.
Fuck yeah, that's why he had to like downsize for the later ones. Like, oh, it's just too much stress on my body. I can't do this.
Yep.
So after Wesker gets the door open from playing the piano there, he explains to Jill what he's doing. And she's like, you betrayed us. Why you do this, Wesker? He's like, because money is nice.
Leave us.
I like
And
money.
he's like, yeah, I was just gonna leave you.
Because he knew that he knew that the city was gonna get blown up. Because that's the whole reason why we're getting these timestamps, because it indicates that Raccoon City is pretty much going to be wiped out by 6 a.m.
Yep. So
there's a few timestamps that are like, man, that's a lot of shit that happened in that hour and a half.
well, sometimes it's like a timestamp and then like minor things happen and there's another timestamp. Like, excuse me.
Well, so it was 1:50, 2 o'clock, 2:29, 4:23. No, 4 a.m., 4:23, 5 a.m. and then 6 a.m.
It was between 2:20 and 4 a.m. I was like, shit, that's a lot that happened.
Well,
Yeah.
Like,
here's a grievance I have here. This dude doesn't feel like Wesker to me either, because Wesker was in such control. Like up to like, I know they don't have all the shit from the game, but up to this point, he had already done a bunch of stuff. Like he'd been an Umbrella for years. This one, he's just like, oh shit, I'm doing something. Like that's like okay, I guess. And then he seems like a very reluctant villain for like, I guess part of this movie.
Yes.
Like, okay,
he has part of a heart.
his heart
Seems like he was just kind of like coerced into this, and he's like, wow, this is a little bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be for the money that I was gonna get, but you know what, I'm gonna kind of roll with it. I'm gonna go with it. It's fine.
You don't want to be stuck in Raccoon City. This guy's like text him like, you gotta leave town. He's like, I don't fucking wanna. Text like, do it, you fucking baby. Like, okay.
Yeah, he seems almost reluctant, but like,
dude, he really does. Like, I don't know about this.
I don't know, I don't want to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the sunglasses yet. That's the problem.
I'm the bad guy.
As soon though as he's done explaining what he's doing, the helicopter crashes into the library. And wasn't this in the game when the piece of the house was supposed to fall on Jill and Barry saves her, and no,
the helicopter crashes into police department in the second one.
Oh
Yeah.
okay.
Vickers
And
lives until the third game.
Yeah,
They had this explosion. This explosion looks a lot like the explosion earlier, like, hey, we're gonna have the same, camera angle.
Copy paste.
It's like literally, it was a copy paste.
Yeah.
Budget.
Poor Vickers. Poor Vickers, dude. He doesn't
The
get to get
budget.
nemesis. It sucks.
So it's 2:29, and we're back at the police department. It's time to stock up on some weapons. Claire and Leon, they chatted up about stuff. Leon finds that guy from that was friends with Claire, the one that was in that video earlier. He's locked up down in the basement, and he's locked up with a guy who's not looking so good. To be honest, this guy was a zombie the whole time. This scene is so fucking dumb.
Yes,
because
it is.
literally, so he's trying to explain who he is. He's trying to explain the shit that's going on. He's like, they locked me up because I knew too much, because I know the truth about what's going on here in Raccoon City. I'm like, cool, I like this. And he's like, well, you're my cellmate's not looking so good. When you see what his cellmate looks like, it's not like he turned like that in the last 15 seconds. This man has looked like that for a while. So when he pulls Leon towards the cage and fucking takes the gun, as immediately I'd be turning into the dude and blast him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
But instead, he's like, get me out of here. Get me. And it goes on way too long until the last minute when Leon finally unlocks the door and fucking Bub from Day of the Dead attacks.
Hell yeah.
Takes his throat out.
And just rips his throat. I'm like, this was such a dumb scene.
I agree so much.
But they could have sped it. They could have sped it up, because every time they switched from Ben to Leon, he should have been getting closer. It shouldn't have been him contemplating, like, oh, here I am taking a shit. Like, okay, now I gotta get up.
But what? But he knew shit was going on. But why didn't he just fucking shoot him?
It didn't make any sense at all.
But
That was the problem.
every time they switched back and forth, dude should have been getting closer.
Yeah,
like
they could have killed this guy any other way.
Yeah.
They could have taken him out when he got the gun.
Yeah.
Because he should have already been standing up.
It could have been he shoots the guy not knowing he has to shoot him in the head. He just shoots the zombie.
Yes.
Thinking he's okay, that's cool. I took care of that. But then he gets up and attacks him and does the whole throat rip. That would have made more sense. But the fact is, he knew the dude was far gone. He should have immediately, especially a guy who knows the truth about what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he dies this way in such a dumb fashion. I was like, this scene was so dumb.
Yep.
Between this one and when they show the doll in the beginning,
Yeah.
like they could have cut that time in half.
And they could have made it actually progress. Progress the story.
Yeah.
It could have been a part of the story rather than just this, again, a weird side tangent that they decided to go on.
Yeah. And so Claire saves Leon by shooting the zombie, but the zombie gets up, and then freaking Leon just unloads an entire clip into this thing. Still no headshots, by the way.
Here I am, like, dude, you gotta conserve your ammo.
Anytime I watch a zombie movie, I get frustrated by the people when they're shooting at zombies. I'm like, I know it's not like if you're in a situation where you don't know like the proper way to kill them, you're like, it's a gun. I shoot somebody, they're gonna die. But that's not the case when it comes to the undead. You got to shoot them in the brain. But
first reaction to fighting anything that would be considered like a monster or a monstrosity or something that would be, like a cryptid or anything like that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to fuck around. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, dick shot. Like, no, I'm not going to sit here and play games with you. I'm going to go for a headshot.
Let's see how he reacts.
Is he going to crawl away or is he going to keep coming after me? But like
one shot, not 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm going for a headshot first. So
the problem is this is from people that I've learned from people that are like fire instructors and stuff. Generally, when you're taught to shoot something, is to shoot center mass because it's the easiest thing to hit.
Yes,
the head is moving all the time, and when you're in a stressful situation, you're less likely to. I know. I'm just telling you're less likely to hit a smaller target. I don't agree. I agree. A headshot is the way to do it for most of those kind of things, but like in a stressful situation,
he's police. He would be
trained to shoot center mass.
Yeah. But He's seen this. It's nothing. This isn't new.
But they might not. Well, it's Leon. He's an idiot. He wouldn't know shoot in the head.
he's
I'm
shot his
surprised he didn't try to bludgeon
Germanians.
with a ketchup bottle or something. Like, guy's kind of an idiot. But
Oh man.
Anyway.
But I forgot to mention the fact that Ben explains the TNG virus to Leon and like what it does.
Yeah. You heard of the TNG virus? Like, we're
yeah.
talking about it now? Okay.
This far in the
Guess
We
we
did
gotta catch up on the whole Resident Evil 0 and most of 1 right
I got
now.
a question for you, actually, Piggy. Earlier, the one dude in the mask get up, were you getting a hunk vibe from that? It was the dude all like decked out in the umbrella gear and he had the gas mask and stuff. It was a real quick snippet. Did you catch that?
Oh yeah, during the shootout
Yes.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
it
was like,
also, it really brought, like, it kind of just brought this weird little side piece. And I think it's from the Revelations, where it actually has a clip of, like, one of them all decked out like that. And he just turns and looks at the camera and that's it. And, like, that's all you see of them. And I'm pretty sure it's a Revelations or it's Code Veronica or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't played those games in years,
Yeah,
but
it's been a long
like
time.
I do remember that part from
Mhm.
one of them because I was like, "Yo, that mask!"
Yeah, I know. It was like, bring him in, let him do something. Like, no, he just gets a fucking cameo. But oh well, better than nothing.
Maybe he'll be in the next one.
Will they do a next one?
No, this didn't perform very well.
I was gonna say not with their ratings and what happened with this one.
Yeah.
No.
So I guess I went a little bit too fast with the conversation between Wesker and Jill because the conversation about like what he's actually doing happens after the helicopter crashes. But whatever, we talked about it already. And yeah, this is when they encounter a zombie for the first time because he shoots. It like starts creeping up on Jill. Wesker shoots it, and then they're kind of like, "What the fuck is that?"
This looks like Chris's blood.
Yep. So
Sorry,
the zombies or the infected, I'm going to call the ones outside the gate of the police station. They're infected. They're not full out zombies yet. At least they don't look it. I mean, I don't know. What would you consider these zombies? I mean, I guess since they're
whatever's easier, man.
They're far more infected than they are like actual zombies because they're not there yet. They're not going to eat a person if they get the chance to approach a person at this point. They're just kind of like ravenous and weird.
Yeah.
Feral.
So they break through the gate and now that's when you find out there's doors to this police station that have been wide open during a rainstorm. So yeah, they close those and I'm just like, get the hell out of there. And they're running down this hallway because the captain is like, oh, I know we got to get to the orphanage. So we got to go the back way. I know a good way to get out. So they're going down this hallway and I'm like, why do people stop to shoot? Like these things aren't moving very fast. Just fucking run.
Yep.
If you get to a spot where you have to stop, like when they get to the door and they got to try to get through the door, yeah, turn around and start shooting. But like, there's no reason that you get halfway down an open hallway, stop, turn around, shoot at the things behind you, then continue. No, stop. This is it's dumb.
They're like, hey, what's this?
So it's 4 a.m. They get to the orphanage. I love how the sign to the orphanage is so brightly colored.
Yes.
And I guess there's a passageway from the orphanage to the Spencer mansion because the captain tells them that they used to take a lot of the orphans and experiment on them, and there was like these secret passages to the labs and stuff like that, and yeah, a whole thing. And of course Claire has the whole like flashback like this place, oh my god,
she didn't already know where she was.
Leon's just walking around like, man, I could really use a sandwich right now.
Where's Jill at?
Yeah, exactly.
Jill always has sandwiches on her. She's always packing.
I mean, I like her for that reason. Like, I would always, carry a sandwich in my pocket.
I
don't know.
I guess I also forgot to mention that I guess Wesker and Jill have a thing.
Well, I think Jill has a thing for Wesker, but I don't think Wesker really reciprocates. And then,
well, yeah, because he planned on leaving everybody behind, and they were all going to die.
Yeah, he's
even before all that, but Chris is all like Chris wants to put it in her butt, and then she wants to put it in Wesker's butt.
It's a love triangle.
Okay.
It's a loop.
So
listen,
the
people
creepy
read different things in
lady
spectrum.
shows back up again.
Yes.
And she shushes them and they don't listen as
Well,
something
it's
just
Leon that doesn't fucking listen.
yeah,
Because he
and
doesn't know when to shut up.
the captain gets yoinked.
Unceremonious.
Yes, he's just gone. And I was like, well, okay. And he gets his fucking face just suctioned right off. Just bye. And we get a really oh god, the liquor just looks so bad. It just like I hate bashing visual effects because I just know the history of how visual effects work, especially nowadays. But like this literally looks like it was pulled out of a video game, like an actual video game.
Oh.
Not
It is.
yeah.
It is the best rendition of a liquor that I have ever seen in a movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is true.
Which is not
But
saying
also-
a lot.
No, it does look like they went from the new Resident Evil 2 and they were like, you know what sounds good? Just turning this into a 3D model in the real movie. That's gonna work.
And yeah, well the also the liquor gets killed unceremoniously as well by just getting put in a chokehold by Lisa Trevor, and she just rips its fucking jaw, like it just rips the top of his head. I was like, okay.
Sometimes you just need your skull crushed by a pair of thighs, though.
I was like, all right. I was like, alrighty then, let's.
I was like, oh my god, Lisa, you
like,
doing anything later?
She's fucking she's doing squats in her spare time. I mean, she's always hunched over, so those fucking thighs are working it all the time.
She doesn't have anything else to do. She can't do arm day.
Also, the face. It was. I've heard. Is it her mother's face or something like that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's her mom.
Well,
that's
I had read that what it was is they brought in after her mom died, they brought in a person that looked like her mom, and she knew it wasn't her mom, but she thought this lady had stole her mom's face. So was there this lady? I don't know if that's correct or not. So
that one sounds
more
interesting.
Well, her face.
Damn.
So, but yeah, but she was a little girl that was experimented on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they clarified
and
the file about all the kids that were experimented on. She finds the Lisa Trevor file.
She was also the reason she is the reason the G virus exists. Because she was the Nemesis parasite was introduced to her, and her body absorbed it. It did not take her over, and the G virus was made from this whole process.
Oh.
So it was like taken out of her. So I guess that's why she's in it for Birkin. But like, her family, or her dad, was one of the primary designer of the Spencer Mansion.
Yeah.
And Spencer was a fucking nut job and didn't trust anybody, and ended up having him killed, and his daughter and his wife experimented on. The wife didn't take to the progenitor, so they had her killed, but Lisa did, and she's practically unkillable. There wasn't really a reason for her to be in this movie. There's not like, we got the G from Trevor, or Lisa Trevor. No, that's not even brought up at all. She's just fucking in the movie.
She's just there. And like, I like that they added her. And I like that they made her a good guy of all the things. Because like Lisa in the games, she's not inherently a bad character. She's not a bad guy. She's not a boss. You do fight her as a boss, but she is just a little girl who is very, very scared of authority, specifically people in, like, any form of uniform. So doctors, police officers, STARS members, everybody who comes there. And the only person who I think actually gets to avoid her at any real moment without fighting her is, I do believe, Jill.
I think you're right. Because she knocks you out and puts you in the shed.
Yeah, and Jill, she doesn't immediately and like inherently attack Jill because Jill is not wearing a uniform. And that's what it is. And so in this, I'm totally okay with her being like, oh, hey, these people are good people. But Leon's there, and he is wearing a full police officer uniform, and she would not have taken that shit at all. She'd have been like, nope, we gonna tussle, we're gonna go, buddy. So
it's like it wasn't, she was even like, for me in this movie, she wasn't even like a proper like means to an end outside of like, okay, we're gonna have her be friends with Claire for for this one scene where she can get some fucking keys and end up in the mansion, like underneath into the nest lab. And I'm like, why? Like, she could have got there another way. It just felt like, it feels like they inject characters into this movie for all the wrong reasons, and then they leave other all equally as important characters out for no reason. And I don't get it. It was really weird cherry picking.
This movie could have been a lot better if the endings to everybody that they had introduced had actually ended properly.
Yep.
And that's where they went wrong. Everything else I can accept, I can excuse. You need added content and what have you.
Yeah.
But like, if you had ended Lisa's story the way that it should have been, if you had ended Chief Iron's story the way that it should have been, if any of them had just ended properly in any way, shape, or form, it would have been so much better.
Yeah, it's just like, let's put this character in and have no real payoff for it. Like, okay. You get to see Lisa kill a licker. Oh, by the way, I also want to say the fact that we're cool with having a licker in the game or the movie, but by golly, we can't have giant snakes and giant spiders and shit. That's way too fucking weird.
It's mentioned. It's a question that is asked. What would you rather be killed by? Yeah. That's what we get in this movie. A giant snake, or was it a giant snake or
a shark? I think.
Yeah, or a great white shark, and then that's because it references other like. Okay.
Yeah, the first game, because there's sharks and there's Neptunes in the basement.
There's
first
both.
Game, yeah.
It's been a long time since I played the first Resident Evil, so I know, like, the thing that is ingrained in my head is just the dogs bursting through the window in that one scene. Yeah. And I was just like, fuck this shit.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So
you try and fight a dog with on a what was it, a DS?
No, you're playing the DS version. That's right.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
You have to take the pin out and slash them like shit.
Yeah, that scarred me for years. Dude, I wouldn't even touch these games for like 5 years after that shit when I was on the PlayStation 1.
So it is 4:23 a.m. Chris is by himself popping off some heads of zombies. And then we get this really jarring scene where it's just his lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And his lighter goes out and he just keeps trying to turn on. And he can clearly see that the cop that turned into a zombie is getting closer to him, but instead of getting up and trying to move, he's just still trying to worry about the fucking lighter. And then this whole scene is just light, darkness, light, darkness, light. I'm like, oh, it's jarring. It's very jarring.
There are some movies that works really well.
Yeah.
This does not. Like, you clearly see him turn around and he's different. Like, why do you need your...
And he sees the guy. Like, it's not like he's oblivious that he doesn't know he's there.
Blind.
He sees him and he doesn't react. He's just worried about lighting his lighter. I'm like, oh my God. But Jill... Jill comes out of nowhere and saves him. I forgot to mention Wesker just runs away into that tunnel. So Claire finds out what was really happening at the orphanage. You get her looking through the files, and then you get her reacting, and I was like, holy shit, that is awful. Like, her, like, being sad. I was like, yikes. Did they not give her any more takes than that one? Or was that, like, the first take, and they just went, man, we got to move on, guys, because it was rough seeing her, like, trying to be emotional, and it just wasn't being pulled off very well.
Yeah.
We also see the Ashford twins in the little video there. Is that the exact video from Code Veronica?
No, it is a recreation of that shot. I even told Angela, I was like, this is exactly what's going to happen in this scene, and it fucking did.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is that in this movie?
Because they even show what they do, right? They, like, pluck the wings off of a dragonfly and then let the ants...
Yeah. That makes no sense for this to be in this movie. It makes even less sense for this to be in this movie because it's Alexia and Alfred Ashcroft. Alexia invented the T. Veronica virus at age 10. Birkin fucking hated her because she was so damn smart at her age, and she made that, and he's way older than her and took him forever to make the G virus. He did not work. He was not part of that.
Yeah.
He did nothing to do with that. He fucking despised her. There's no reason for him to be in that shot. Literally none. This was another moment. Like, what the fuck are these people
like, he
doing?
was literally word for word, like, this is what's going to happen. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's the shot. Like, it's cool. Like, it's what it is. It's like when Lisa Trevor hands the keys to Claire, and it's the keys from Resident Evil 2. It's the diamond, the spade, the club, the heart. That's cool. I get it. That's neat. But don't literally cock tease us with these fucking, woo, look at this reference, look at this carrot, guys. But then you have this half-ass slapped together shit show of a fucking movie. I'm like, what do you do? And I agree, it is the closest we've ever got to a proper Resident Evil movie as a like source material wise. But it's like, let's make half of this and leave the other half off and just do whatever the fuck we want with the half we have here. And it's just, oh, it's so agitating, dude.
Yeah, because he's like,
do it right first before you're like, I want to do my version of it. No.
He's like, they're gonna do this, this, and this, and then they're gonna look each other. And I'm like,
look at each other. And that's
I'm like, are they gonna kiss? Like, they were like this.
Alfred's got this weird obsession with his sister where he actually cross dresses as her because he has this
because you told me that.
With her.
I was like, this is kind of like
so much crazy lore with this franchise, and yet they can't
like you can't bring that stuff into this and be like, and
there it is, there it is.
Never
gonna see it again.
Dangle that carrot there.
Yep.
Or
anyway, go ahead.
We catch up with Birkin, and this is really fucked up, man. He literally places his wife and child 2 feet from this gutted zombie that's just like, please just end this. Please. It reminds me of, have you ever seen Return of the Living Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene when we got the one zombie that's like strapped to the table. It's just like the torso, and he's and the corners talking to the that reminded it was very similar to this scene where this zombie is like end me please. She doesn't say that, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah,
bruh, what is happening?
Yeah, so the reason that he had to leave so quickly was because he found out that Umbrella was planning on destroying the G virus to kind of like destroy evidence that they had anything to do with what's going on. But Wesker shows up and he's like, bro, I'm going to need that. So let's do this. And they shoot each other. And then the wife picks up the gun. She's going to shoot Wesker, but Wesker headshots her. I was like, damn, you at least you hit Birkin with 3 chest shots. Immediate headshot for the wife. And then the daughter picks up the gun, and that's when Jill shoots Wesker.
Well, I'd like to point,
and that's when that whole thing where Jill is the trigger happy, like they're afraid she's going to shoot one of her teammates. This kind of all plays out into her actually shooting Wesker here.
Well, this is another thing, which is pretty close because Wesker was responsible for Birkin's death.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is responsible for that in the actual game, but Annette Birkin knew everything. Annette Birkin was part of it, his wife. Like, she knew what he was doing. She was part of that project.
She definitely didn't know here because she literally questions, like, what's happening? What are you doing?
I know.
I don't
like,
understand.
This is her husband's life work. That she wanted that for him.
No.
I don't know what it would have mattered that she knew in this game, the story, but whatever.
It made me so angry that Annette is actually like a good loving mother and just like this sweet mom who's just like, I love you, Sherry. Oh, you're my child and you're the best. And she doesn't view Sherry as like this weird test tube child that like her husband's going to mate with because they are the same DNA and the T virus makes him seek out things that will be compatible with the T virus. Like, she was totally down for that in the game. She was just like, that's fine. He just wants to procreate. It's all good. We need Sherry, though. And, like...
Why couldn't we get this movie? Like, why?
Right. And then,
did they think this was too dark? Like, we want
they're
this.
Just like, that's a little weird. So, Annette's gonna be a good mom who doesn't know anything is actually going on. Like, she's not actually an Umbrella employee.
Yeah.
She's...
Yep. There's one huge key missing out of this whole puzzle, but we'll get to that at the end of the movie.
All of them?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
pretty much.
Wesker tells Jill about Umbrella's plan on blowing up Raccoon City, and then Wesker dies, and Jill takes the PDA from him. She doesn't get any PDA, but she takes his PDA. We then see that the doctor injected himself with the G virus, so he's starting to mutate. And when he mutates into the tyrant, why is he talking all this shit to Chris? It makes no fucking sense.
Well, he's not even a tyrant. He's just Birkin.
Okay, but why is he talking shit to Chris? It makes no sense. He's like,
I don't know.
This whole interaction, because like you get this whole feeling like Birkin actually cares for Chris. But then you get like him mutating into this creature, and it doesn't make sense because he's just out there like, "Oh, you are a great tester," and just saying all this shit. I was like, why is this happening? I don't
why. It's like we talked about. They were never. There's no. Birkin was not a part of their childhood growing up. It does not make sense. It never needed to be in the game. It made or movie did not need. It makes no sense. There's no payoff. Is it just to make Birkin look like an asshole? Like he was an asshole to begin with. Why do we need more content?
He did that himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't need to add this like weird undertone that like he adopted these kids and tested on them even further, and now they're further in the story. Like it didn't even need to go back that far.
Yeah.
Birkin was a piece of shit from the get-go. You didn't need to tack on all this extra bad stuff.
Well, what you were talking about earlier, Piggy, I mean, what we could have done to even made Irons seem worse than he actually does in this movie is Irons was on fucking Birkin's payroll. He would take the orphans to Birkin. That's what he was for. Like that's why. Yeah, that's like, why.
You kind of and you get a kind of a mention of that too when you get to the orphanage. Vaguely. It's like very vague explanation.
But see, you didn't even need the Claire thing anymore at that point. Yeah. He was a piece of shit. He paid off the fucking police chief. Yeah. It's that simple.
You just didn't need to add all of these weird undertones to try and make people worse than they already were because they're awful in the game.
Yeah,
like they're terrible people. Mm-hmm. Irons used to kidnap girls that like were, ladies of the night. He would go, take them, pay for them, sleep with them, take his money back, strap him to a table, and then he would test on them. And he would send all of his findings, and he would send their dead bodies and stuff like that.
Wasn't he taxidermying some of them too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like testing on them and stuff, and like you could have just had that. That right there alone is make like
an 8 episode series that literally go like in excruciating detail of these games. Like every season can be a different game.
But
just play the fucking game.
Well, then you could do that too. But there's a lot of people who don't play video games, Dan, who need to hear, who
watch
need
a
to see
playthrough. Watch it.
They don't like that, Dan.
No, how many movies have we
making all these fucking stupid shit anyways? So why not just add more?
How many movies have we talked about that we've had better plots?
A lot.
That have actually happened.
Yeah,
we could do this.
I think this is not entirely related, but it is to Piggy's shirt. I think they should do a series that retells the events of the original Jurassic Park novel as a series.
I want that, but for Resident Evil, I want a series where every season is a new game, but there's at a minimum 10 episodes per season, and half of those episodes are back stories to these people being shitty. Like I want an entire episode dedicated to just Chief Irons, and you go through his daily life of abducting kids and women and him doing his atrocious shit on that. Like I want whole episodes on this. And it's not hard. Like look how good Dexter was. Look how good Hannibal was. You need like the more dark, the more awful, the more terrible, and the more sense that it makes for lifelong fans as well as newcomers, the more success you're going to have. And nobody has seemed to want to do this.
Yeah.
They
want to do these side stories, and I don't want the fucking side quest.
Each ending of Dexter though should have been written by the fans because it would have ended better.
Let's not talk
because I hated both endings.
Dexter.
We don't talk about the ending of Dexter or the ending of Lost, okay?
We don't talk about the ending of both Dexters, like the new one and the original one. So Chris takes him out.
Sorry, we derailed.
He takes Birkin out, and Claire shows up, and they
unceremoniously too. She's like,
oh hi. Yeah. And she comes in. They hug each other, and he's like, oh, I think I broke a rib. This is literally what the dialogue. I think I broke some ribs. She goes, are you hurt? I'm fine.
It's fine. I
Okay.
just broke a bone. I'm good. No
Walk it off, bitch.
Yeah,
and
walk it
Birkin
off.
wakes up. So now it's 5 a.m., I think. They get on an umbrella train that's just downstairs. It's just like, hey. And something was on the PDA, but I couldn't read it. I'm guessing it was just the explanation of the fact that Raccoon City is going to get blown up. It was kind of the same thing that Wesker
I still
sees.
can't tell you what was on it.
And now it's 6. Now we go to 6 a.m. and the Spencer mansion sinks into the ground because the city gets blown up, and we get one of the weirdest fucking shots of a cow just grazing, and then the cow's like, oh, and it just moo. It gets flown off screen.
Western.
All of a sudden,
is that a cow?
this is the beginning of The Wizard of Oz.
I was
It is.
like,
I mean,
was that shot? Why did the cow need to be? Oh, so weird. But this causes
They
the
needed to show you.
yeah, right.
Yep.
yeah.
This causes the train to derail, and this is when we get, oh my god, this more just really just awful visual effects, because this creature looks horrible.
We couldn't even get final form Birkin for this. We couldn't get giant jelly mouth Birkin. We had to get like the wrong version of him on this.
It's the
fucking train.
goofiest looking creature with like the really long teeth. But then you see Birkin's head is like infused to like the lower part of its body.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like,
And,
like
yeah.
armpit or something.
And Jill Claire stabs it, and then Leon just comes out of nowhere with a rocket launcher, shoots it like 10 feet away from Claire and Chris, and I was like, they're dead. But they survive.
Well, did you see Chris's reaction when he's like gonna shoot the rocket launcher? He's like, "Oh shit!" And this is literally what he does.
Yeah.
Like 5 feet from Birkin against the wall. Like, where are you going, dude?
Oh my god, it was so
Where are
good.
you fucking going?
Oh Lord.
Being said, Leon coming out of nowhere and being like, I found a rocket launcher in first class. Like, that's pretty spot on for the game. You find the rocket launcher real close to the end, and you're just like, what's this rocket launcher doing here? And then you're like, oh shit, I need it.
And then Jill just comes out from the front like, what's going on back here? How did you not hear any of that? Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
I can ignore a lot of things, so I can relate to the like, what's happening?
So Raccoon City is destroyed. The end. Except for, you get the whole breakdown of like Spencer Mansion destroyed, the evidence destroyed, like everything's destroyed. It's like civilian survivors 0, but then you see the whole crew walk out of the dust. You're like, ooh, cool.
Oh, they lived.
Yay.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then we get a mid-credit scene where Wesker's alive. You get the whole thing where the body bag rises up and it's Wesker inside, and he's having a hard time, and his eyes are hurting, and a woman comes out and he's like, my eyes hurt, and she's like, it's just a side effect, and she hands him sunglasses, and I was like, oh my god.
And this is actually, yeah, but this is what you really don't know. This is actually the start of the rebooting the Riddick franchise.
This is Vin Diesel when he was younger.
Yeah, it's Vin Diesel now
when he still had hair.
I just thought this was a really gnarly migraine. I too need sunglasses inside when I have one, so just.
And of course he's like, who are you? And she's like, Wong, Ada Wong. I'm like,
that
what?
person that's pivotal to the Resident Evil 2 plot, but, that's fine. Let's just not put her in the movie at all.
And at the end,
like the fact that decided, you know what, we already got Birkin. Let's just not do the tyrant that kills Wesker, but just let Jill shoot him. Fuck it. Just weird things, man. Just weird things.
This movie was weird.
I don't know what they're going for. As somebody that's like a fan of the franchise, like I kind of see what the references, but other times I'm like, what the fuck were you doing? Like,
there's a lot of what the fucks.
Yep.
Yeah, you should be like, dude, we should make something for like the fan base. This is like, dude, this is my fanfic I've been brewing.
Like all the Harry Potter fanfics, like just out of nowhere, they make no sense, and you're just like, we're just gonna roll with this. Like that is the exact same par of all of this.
That's what it feels like.
I feel like a lot of the people who are making these movies have never played the games in entirety, like even just the main series. And what happens is their child is explaining the plot of the games to them. And we got really lucky this time that there was a child that was very familiar with the show and like with the games and stuff and everything that went on. But there was still a lot of things that were lost in translation because you're having like an 8-year-old try to, tell their dad who's making a movie on this what's going on.
They don't ever tell a story from start to finish. They got this whole like winding road.
That's how I still do.
Me too.
Same.
I can't explain
That's the ADHD.
Like people are like at work, like, Dad, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, yeah, I'm your boss, but I'm not supposed to tell you how to do your job. Don't listen to me. The fuck do I know?
Yeah, like if I'm gonna try and explain something to you, trust me, you're going on about 15 different side adventures, and which is hilarious because that's what I bitch about in all of these movies.
Right? It's like we start out with, how do you get that spot out of the floor? It ends with, well, that's the first time I got crabs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody gets that reference.
Story. I can tell a story and be like, well, this happened the other day. Well, maybe it happened like 2 months ago, but it was the other day.
Everything.
The other day can be anywhere roughly around 20 years ago.
Exactly.
It's a vague amount of time.
Yeah, it's a very large amount of time.
All right, we got some comments on Twitter and Instagram about this. We have a comment from a podcast that I mentioned during the episode, a half-priced horror at half horror on Twitter said, I thought it was a lot of fun, a really nice love letter to the original games, and it had a nice little stealth anti-capitalism message hidden in there. I did a whole episode on it myself, and I did mention that episode, so make sure to go check out that. We have Podcast in the Woods who just says, I still need to see this one. Listen, watch it. It's not that bad. It's not, and we're going to go into our thoughts right after we talk about the comments, because that's what we do now. We do our thoughts on the movie after we talk about it. So yeah, over on Instagram, I know we did get one comment over there. We have Give Me Back My Horror Movies, who said, I at least got to give it credit for its set designs. Cramming 2 games into one story was a huge mistake. And then we have Fire Fenrir's, who said, heard it's fun and fine, and which is a reference to our good friend Tony from Hack the Movies, who literally that's the title of his episode on Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Fine and fun. Or fun and fine.
Okay. I'm glad that everybody that enjoyed this movie enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Don't let my bitter and fickleness change anything. It may change your opinion.
All right. Well, let's talk about our thoughts on this movie before we get out to our rankings. So let's start with Piggy, because she is the guest. Piggy, what were your overall thoughts on this one?
It's a really good watch, and it does do a okay job at doing justice to the games that it was supposed to have involved in it. And as bitter as I am about a lot of the Resident Evil things that have come out, not just the Anderson movies, but also there was a lot of other things that have come out that are just not good for Resident Evil, that all have the namesake on it. And even though those have all left a nasty taste in my mouth, this one was actually a really, really good addition to everything. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I will criticize about it just because Resident Evil is my jam. But, like, I also have to give credit where credit's due. They did a good job at trying to incorporate everything that is pertinent to the games into this, and they tried to do it well. The overall movie, it's not a bad movie at all.
All right.
But yeah, I still don't want the side tangents, and I don't like the whole thing where, like, for some reason this movie has a lot of moments, like in The Room, where the mom mentions she's really sick, and then they just never talk about it again. Like, it's this huge thing, and then it's just never brought up again. and it's just gone forever. This movie does that so many times, and it is so infuriating to someone like me.
All right,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me adjust the old
Go.
Beltaroo.
What are your thoughts on this wonderful film?
All right. I don't like it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's add some more context. I legitimately did not enjoy this film, and I think if I probably watched it again, I'd probably like it more knowing. But I did go in with low expectations. I did not expect this to be the be all end all. As I win with most adaptations of anything, I don't have much faith in stuff like that because that's usually never handled well, in my opinion. But first with the good, I do like the lady who plays Claire. I didn't mind Jill. I didn't mind the dude who did Irons, and then the dude who did Birkin. I think they did a fine job. Most of the other actors, I don't care. I absolutely hated like Leon's character. No offense to the actor, I fucking hated him. He was one of the worst characters in this movie. Like, I don't know how you ruin a character that important to the franchise that way. As I mentioned earlier, I like some of the references. Like, I liked the keys. I like, even though I thought the instance was kind of dumb, I like the Jill sandwich bit. There's little. I love those little things, but it just felt like they were spaced out and inserted just enough to keep fans watching. But it wasn't like we're gonna do this idea and sprinkle this shit in for fans. It wasn't like they were making the movie for us. It literally felt like breadcrumbs. Like, dude, if you're gonna tickle my nuts, we got to go all the whole way, and you can't half-ass this. And that's what I felt like they were doing with this movie. Like, I just did not enjoy that at all. I didn't care about how most of it was shot. I didn't think the gore was great. I didn't care for how most of the zombies looked. There were really stupid plot points, characters used ineffectively. And again, I went in with low expectations. I was not expecting this to be a good movie. I've watched tons of shit movies that I enjoyed, and this was not one of them. I'd rather watch fucking Living Dead at Manchester Morgue for the scene where the woman gets her boob popped off. I mean, you guys that that's good. I'd almost watch Hell of the Living Dead.
Shit.
Where that one woman walked around topless for 25 minutes for no fucking reason.
That we had to censor.
Because we were watching it on the internet. We're like, black screen. We'll tell you when it's done. 20 minutes later. Okay, now it's done. Like,
It's the reason she has to walk naked.
Like yourself, Piggy. I adore the Resident Evil franchise. I wouldn't play it for years when it first came out because the first game scared the shit out of me. I was of age enough when it was brand new. My cousins rented it. I can't. I love this franchise. I really, really do. I'm surprised I don't have ink of it. And I love what Capcom does, but I do not understand why they fucking signed off on this movie. Like, why they keep signing off on this shit. Like, respect your franchise and do it the right way. Do not allow these people to do this shit. Don't give it to the lowest bidder. If nobody wants to pay, hold it. But it's not a movie for me, and if you like it, awesome. All the power to you. I can see why there's certain references in it you would like. And I don't know. It's not even about the characters looking the way they do. Some of them were fine. It's just the movie as a whole I didn't care for. There were too many irons in the fire, and none of them made it to completion in my mind.
Angela.
Well,
the background music in some of the scenes was good. Not the actual music, but some of the actual background music felt Resident Evil-ish.
How do you follow up after that?
I don't know.
Like,
I tried to be legitimately. I just don't want to be the angry guy. I made valid points as to why I didn't enjoy.
It's been a while since we've had an episode like this. Sometimes it feels good to bring out some of the frustrations when it comes to certain movies.
Get it all out.
And people are like, "Don't talk about movies you don't like." It's like, why? It's fun.
I pointed out things I liked about it.
No, I'm not me. I'm just saying other people. I've talked about plenty of movies on this show that none of us liked, or a couple of us didn't like. I don't know. Whatever. It's my show. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly.
I just feel like everybody needs to love this movie. It needs to become your favorite movie, and if you don't love it completely, you're wrong.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Coming from someone who is not as into Resident Evil, I'm not saying that I don't love the games. I have not personally played all of them. After the jump scare with the dogs in the first one, I'm like, I have watched him play them. I've watched other people play them. I cannot physically bring myself to play them.
We've tried. We're working on it.
I've tried. I can't. It's like trying to get me to play Dead Space. I can't. After the run through the the corridor at the bottom of the steps. I can't.
Yeah. I lost her at the bottom of the steps, man. You had to have been.
I physically I was like, nope, turn the game off. I walked away.
Let me explain this scene real quick. Dead Space. When you first get to control Isaac and go around, you go down a set of stairs, and at the end of the hallway, you see a necromorph run across the hall. She was done.
I was like,
that was it.
She's
like,
nope, can't do it. I can play scary games. I can play Phasma all day with other people. By myself, nope, can't do it. I could probably play something like that if somebody else was with me.
I'll hold your hand.
Not holding my hand. I need you to like physically talk to me. But I have only ever seen the first Resident Evil movie, and I don't even think
Not that bad.
I don't remember much about it, so it's been that long since I've seen it.
Some lady kicks a dog. It's fine.
I probably wouldn't remember it even if I did watch it, but I do know that I have watched it. This one, I think in the beginning there was too many Easter eggs. Like,
this was a fan service movie. 100%.
Right at the beginning, it just to get you to, like, hey, I know those, just to get you to stay around and watch.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the girl that played Lisa Trevor. I enjoyed her acting.
Yeah, her physical performance. Was really good.
Was great. Physical, like hearing her gasp as she's trying to talk and do her stuff. I thought that really set the mood. But like we said, there's just some things I'm like, why? Like with Leon flipping the lighter. I'm like, why?
You mean Chris?
Chris.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
It was supposed to build tension, but it was also just like, no, you're an idiot. Just like move.
Like I can see it. Why can't you?
To me, it wasn't. To me, it wasn't like, oh my god, Chris, watch out! And I was like, Chris, get the fuck up! Like why do you keep flicking this thing on?
I have seen movies where it physically goes pitch black and you cannot see anything.
Mm-hmm.
This movie did not do that.
It didn't do that. I could see everything that was going on in the background, but it was just things like that. It was just things like that that was like, nah, I'm fine. I did enjoy Jill. I didn't enjoy her at first. After the Jill sandwich, I was fine with her. Like, I thought she did a good job. But would I watch it again? No.
She didn't pick any locks in this movie either. I'm upset. Why was it?
No, Claire did.
Why was it?
Yeah, Claire.
Yeah.
She's the master of lock picking. What the fuck? Don't encroach, Claire.
The scene with the lighter, when I was watching it, I was like, this is why you always get a name brand Zippo.
It's the 90s, like, guys.
You just flip it and turn it on, and then it just stays lit forever. It's a Zippo. You don't get the knockoffs.
But it felt like he was, like, you could see him doing it on purpose, like letting go and like.
It was about tension.
Trying to.
But like with Zippos,
I can see what you're doing.
You can flick it on your pants. That's why they're made the way that they are, and you can flick them, and then they just stay lit, and they have a big ass flame, and you could just have that.
And you can turn it up too, and you can make it really big.
But no, he had like a knockoff that you have to hold the little trigger down for, and I was like, why would you do that? Why would you buy that? You're a cop. Of all the people in the world, you should have a name brand Zippo in your pocket.
It was the 90s. Who didn't?
Yeah.
Exactly. I had a name brand Zippo in my pocket.
I remember the ones that had the like 2 feet tall flame on them that you could like. It was the big ones. Those are awesome. So you should have had that. But yeah.
He just pulls out this lighter and it's like 2 feet tall. He's just like holds it.
Yeah.
The Jinko jeans. They had that big old pocket. It would have fit.
Make that shit work.
But
it was the style at the time.
Like I said, I had more entertainment watching him have the reactions he did.
Yeah.
Just
like throwing his phone. I was like, "Are you okay over there?"
It wasn't
like, yeah.
It was just like, what? Like I was so it's just like full like sprouted wings and just flew out of my hand. Like, oh.
all I can imagine right now is a cop in like Jinko jeans with a fire extinguisher, a 2-foot-long Zippo, and like a pistol in his pants.
Hey, and they would fit perfectly.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
And they wouldn't fall off of you either.
After going through all those other Resident Evil movies, this was a breath of fresh air. Yes, it has its problems. We mentioned many of them. I mentioned many of them myself. But I am not as hardcore of a Resident Evil fan as, Piggy and Dan. So I knew certain things and certain things were frustrating, but like this felt more like Resident Evil than anything Paul W.S. Anderson did. And that's why I enjoyed this movie, because it felt more like Resident Evil. Yes, it didn't get everything correct, but it did more things right than those other fucking trash ass movies. And they're trash. And I don't like saying that about movies, but those Resident Evil movies are just horrible. They're just bad.
This one will be better.
I mean, the 2002 Resident Evil, I've gone back and watched that, multiple times over my life, and I thoroughly enjoyed that one. But like after that, it was just like I
don't think that was too bad. I don't mind the original.
It takes a big old nosedive for the rest of that franchise, and it's a mess.
I'm just scared to watch
1 and 2 are acceptable.
Yeah,
and
that's why there are 1 and 2 on our rankings. So, I actually enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fine. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. I don't think it was bad. There was a lot of bad decisions made and a lot of bad just stuff that came from the script, and dialogue was weird. But this felt like Resident Evil to me more than anything else, especially somebody who has gone through the other Resident Evil, stuff, the show, the other movies. This was Resident Evil to me, and that's what I enjoyed about it. Is it good? No. Is it fine? Sure. But I'm kind of in the same boat as Angela. Am I ever going to watch this again? Probably not.
Absolutely not.
No.
I watched it 3 times for this just to make sure that like I didn't miss anything. I wasn't doing anything wrong, because like I get distracted during movies, especially movies that I'm not super interested in watching. And Resident Evil, all of them fall under that for me. I will just naturally go and distract myself with like a bajillion different things. And so I watched it all 3 times with other people to make sure that like I wasn't just getting distracted. And still, like 3 times was too many. It wasn't as bad as watching just 1 round of the last like 4 of the Anderson movies.
100%.
Hey, I made it through this one without falling asleep.
That's because I was flailing like a baby.
There was just a couple of times I was like, this is really boring. Like, hello, can you like cut this scene like in half?
There were a lot of very long,
I don't know if I was ever bored
scenes
with this movie. I don't get really bored with movies very often. Unless it's like a scene that's just way too dragged out with dialogue that does not matter to the plot.
So when we're recording, like I have to do something with my hands. You might see me moving a lot. Like I have to have something to do. If I cannot do something with my hands, I get bored and I fall asleep.
I'd love to do some with my hands, but I can't because we're
not like that.
I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm not projecting onto you. I'm saying my problem.
I pick at my fingers. I fiddle with my phone, my tablet. I always have something in front of me. So it's not that I can't hear what's going on. I have to have something going on in front of me at all times. There was a couple of parts of this movie I was like,
I mean,
my thing is instead of doing that, it's looking at my phone.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at my phone while watching a movie, that movie's not very interesting to me.
I pick so much at my fingers that I will physically pick until they bleed.
Oof, that's not good.
She does. It's true fact.
And it doesn't matter that it hurts. It's the fact that I have to have something going on. Hands, feet. I was standing outside with my boss the other day, and I was just, it's something that I've done all my life. I will tap my foot. She's like, why are you tapping your foot? I'm like, I don't even know that I'm doing it.
It's like me.
So it's like
bounce my leg.
Like I'll be sitting here with my hands like this, and it'll be 2 seconds, and I'm like, well, gotta do something with my hands. So like I have to be fiddling So if a movie does not catch my attention, like, constantly, I'm just like, okay, let's do something. Body's like, brain is going into overdrive. So there's just, it wasn't a, and I don't need like a constant full on action every second of the movie, but I need to be engaged. And I just,
this movie could have been a lot more engaging if Leon had actually been Leon and not some weird,
exactly,
like, ninny boy.
Yeah, just give us Hunt again, and he can just hit on her the whole fucking movie. That's fine.
Give us our eye candy, okay? Half the reason that we all are in love with Leon is because he's just this hunky dude who just comes out of nowhere with his weird side bang, and he's just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
And you're just like, yeah.
Oh my god! All right, well, out of that, is this Piggy? Since you traveled through the adventure that was the prior Resident Evil movies, I made the executive decision to switch. We originally had our Resident Evil Apocalypse as number 1, but I moved it to number 2, and I put Resident Evil as the number 1, our new one. But the question is this the best Resident Evil movie?
Yeah. Like, the very first Anderson movie is a good zombie movie. Like, it's a really, really good zombie movie, and it's got some good key features that are like, oh, they're Resident Evil. But as far as Resident Evil goes, this, like, they aren't Resident Evil movies.
Yeah.
So, like, especially when you compare them to this, that actually has the characters, a lot of the plot line, a lot of the side stories, a lot of the things and the details that make us love Resident Evil. Whereas the Anderson ones, comparatively, they're just not a Resident Evil movie to me.
Yeah, and they're just not that entertaining.
No. And, like, yeah, the one, like, the very first one for me, as far as, like, nostalgia and just overall movie feel, it's a good movie. But if we're also comparing, the Resident Evil parts, this one just outcompetes it by a long shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I add to the list?
Yeah.
Is Resident Evil Apocalypse the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the worst one.
Oh.
And my reason for it is because Nemesis is in it. They fucked it up, and he's one of my favorite villains in a video game.
I mean, you can say that, Dan, but have you seen the rest of the franchise?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's
like they could
awful.
all be worse movies, but it's worse because they fucked up my favorite character.
No. Okay, so Nemesis is also my favorite. Yeah. I have had adorable romantic dreams of Nemesis.
Okay.
Still, he carried me like I was a little baby, and he saved me from stars. Anyways, like, the dirty that they did. Yeah, no, he saved me from stars. They were trying to kill everybody in Raccoon City, and he was just like, no, I'll save you. And I was like, oh, my prince in black leather armor.
BDSM outfit. Snap. Baby.
And then in the third game, they made him trash bag Betty, and I was like, where's his trench coat? But anyways, that's a whole other tangent. Even how dirty they did Nemesis in those movies does not compare in any way, shape, or form to the atrocities that they have committed in all the rest of those movies.
Yeah, they just don't get any better.
I'm sure they are. I refuse to watch any after the second one.
That's fine. I don't recommend them. I have
one brain cell, and somehow they killed it.
Yeah, it's just.
I listened to all the episodes you guys did.
And then we mentioned it in those episodes. Oh, I know. You're going to have a better experience listening to our episodes than you are. And don't get me wrong. I've talked to people who are actually fans of that franchise. And that is completely fine. I am not judging you for liking those movies.
I am.
I personally think they're awful. And I don't say that about a lot of movies, but those movies are just awful.
Yeah. Like,
myself to watch it.
It's an ongoing joke with one of my friends that the first time that he and I ever watched a movie together, he made me watch The Room. which if you haven't seen The Room, you should watch The Room because it's awful. But it's a good awful. Like, it's funny and it's got silly little key points in it that are just ridiculous and out there, and it doesn't make any sense, which makes it what it is. But the Resident Evil franchise outranks The Room by a long shot. And I would put like 3 and on in all of the Resident Evil movies up there with Blood and Honey. Like, it is just
fucking Blood and Honey, baby.
That movie was so bad.
I saw that baby in theaters. Yay!
Why would you do that to yourself? You paid money for that.
I had a good time.
I hated every moment of it.
What?
Oh my god. Okay. Before this turns into a 3-hour episode.
But
we're getting there. Come on. Almost there.
Despite all of that, being a Resident Evil fan, part of me says for you to just never watch that. Just don't. Yeah. But also, I want you to suffer with me, Dan.
No, I can't do it. Sorry.
I want you to. Come on.
One day, I'll force him. I'm gonna turn a movie on. He won't even know what it is.
I'll just walk. I can just leave. I got legs.
You'll see Mila Jovovich in it, and you're just gonna be like, no. Dude, that's how I am now.
The only movie I want to see her in is Fifth Element. That's it.
Yeah, that's the only movie that she's like, that I will sit around and wait for. Anything else with her, I immediately think it's Resident Evil, and I'm like, nope.
She's been in other good movies. Everybody, she has.
Yeah, Monster Hunter.
She has.
No,
she's
another Paul W.S. Anderson trash bag.
Paul W.S. Anderson and I need to have words, and those words are going to be a chair to the face,
dude,
for him.
When we do Event Horizon, seriously contact him and invite him on the show.
Oh no,
he's not going to, but just do it.
Can we need to invite him? Can we just watch all the Resident Evils and then invite him?
Just ask him,
or we can just watch all of his movies.
Let's
just watch.
I have not said a lot of nice things about him in any of the episodes.
It's either those movies. Dude, it's either him or
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. You either make fun of the fucker.
That's a different joke, okay? I enjoy watching Mark Wahlberg movies. It was just a thing that popped into my head when we were talking about Uncharted. I don't know why. No, it's literally our $5 tier on Patreon. It's called the Mark Wahlberg Book Club, okay?
It's canon now.
That's a good idea. He can't read. Mark Wahlberg cannot read.
So our final rankings for the Resident Evil franchise is number 1. Oh, no, we're going to start from the bottom. Number 7, The Final Chapter. Holy fuck. Number 6, Extinction. Number 5, Afterlife. Number 4, Retribution. Number 3, Apocalypse. Number 2, Resident Evil 2002. And number 1 is Welcome to Raccoon City. It is one of the worst rankings you'll ever see in your life, but it is what it is. And we are officially done.
Hard to listen to.
We are officially done with the Resident Evil franchise for now, because you know that a movie is going to come out at some point in the future, and we get to sit down here and talk about it again. Hopefully, not be as angry.
I'm hoping the next time it's a good time, because supposedly there's a Lisa Trevor movie in the works.
Okay,
you got to give us a good Resident Evil movie first.
Yeah,
I mean, it might be. It might be
next week. We are finally talking about a movie that Dan has been talking about for probably over a year, probably even longer than that. We are talking about 1998's Deep Rising, starring the late, great Treat Williams, who just passed away. We had been planning on about covering this movie way before he had passed away, but we felt it was a good time to pay tribute to him and also finally talk about Deep Rising. Because Dan, I swear, had mentioned it for weeks. It's like every week.
Weeks.
Months, years.
Since not long after we fucking started, like Deep Rising.
I mean, it's a good time. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary this year as well. So it's,
if you've never seen it, man, you will think twice about sitting on the toilet.
Yep. So that will be next week's episode. And also, I want to announce what our next franchise is going to be. I don't know when we're going to be starting it, because we have a lot of things planned for September and October when it comes to stuff. But Dustin from the Flicks and Friends podcast was our first $5 tier patron. And so I asked him, I said, since you're the first one, I'm going to let you pick what our next franchise is going to be. And boy, there was some funky options he was sending me, but I'm excited about the one that he finally decided on, and we are going to be going through the entire Conjuring universe, starting with 2013, or what year did that? I don't remember when the first one came out, but starting with The Conjuring. What's the matter, Dan?
It came out at some time.
It came out at a year. I think it was 2013. I can't.
Some year.
That.
First off, I want to say thank you, Dustin, for being our first $5 patron.
Thank you.
And also thank you for subjecting me to the one kind of horror movie I absolutely hate watching. So thank you. I got a whole franchise of it.
Yep. So I don't know when we're going to be starting it, but that is the plan. Is that'll be the next franchise we go through. Man, he had some doozies that he was sending me, though. Man, I'm glad he ended up landing on this.
Like I said, I'm concerned.
I'm curious. You'll have to tell us afterwards.
Yeah, that'll be off air here. But Piggy, what would you like to share? Any links or anywhere that people can find you? What are you doing?
Oh my goodness. All I'm really doing is streaming very, very infrequently at this point because work has just eaten up my entire life.
I feel that.
Between work and school and doing all of that, it has been a rough time for time.
Yeah.
To be frank. So, but hey, not next month. It's a couple months from now. I start wildfire training.
Woo. That's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, since
so
it's a good time since like your entire country was on fire at one point.
Including the road about 20 miles away from me.
Yeah.
We're stuck here. Yay.
It's not just Canada, it's the world. The world is on fire.
Yeah,
we are facing the apocalypse.
We got
literally
cloudy skies because of it.
24/7 is just that dog sitting in the burning house, but it is both literally and figuratively. So
well, it has been a journey, to say the least, Piggy, of going through every single live action Resident Evil movie. It was a lot of fun 2 years ago, and it was a lot of fun tonight. And next time you come on, we're going to talk about a good movie, since you did come on to talk about Child's Play. And we still have a lot of Chucky movies to talk about. We actually have one that we're going to talk about this year because there is one celebrating a little anniversary. Its title is Bride of Chucky. We're going to be covering that sometime soon. So maybe Piggy will come back to talk more Chucky with us. But Dan and Angela, all their links are down below. As you know, that's how we work.
They're not.
That's how we do it here. And you can...
every movie, technically every year, every movie has an anniversary. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but like significant anniversaries, Dan. I'm not talking about like just random, like, oh, today's the 33rd anniversary of this. We're going to cover that. No, fuck you, Dan. That's not what I'm talking about.
We've done it before.
Well, yeah, but shut up.
Shut up with you and your point making.
Oh, man. You can find Dissect That Film on all the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I don't post on Facebook anymore, but we're there. If you want to say hello. We are on all the podcast services. I mean, you're listening to us right now, so clearly you found us somewhere. But if you're watching us on YouTube, hi, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Leave us your thoughts on what you thought of the episode. Maybe you're just really mad that we bashed a movie you really like, and I'm sorry, but that's just how this show works.
We still like you.
Yeah, you can like it. We appreciate you for just listening to the show. And make sure wherever you listen to us, if you can rate or review the show, please do, because the more ratings that we get on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, the more people actually listen to the show. So it's cool. We just hit 16,000 downloads on the show about a couple weeks ago, so that's pretty cool. We're inching towards 20K, which is just fucking mind-blowing to think about. Well, the last time we talked about a Resident Evil movie, I think we were at like 300 total downloads for the show. Just think about that. We're at 16,000. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, and thank you to all of our patrons who give us a little bit of money to, for one, get some extra fun stuff, and to just supporting the show and helping us continue doing it. And, we're having a good time. And this is a long ass episode. I was like, oh, this shouldn't be more than like an hour 45, baby. Fuck that. You got to edit this motherfucker, so you got to go long.
We have
I know. It's like the Godzilla King of the Monsters episode all over again.
We have 7 movies of trauma to rehash.
We do.
She has PTSD from all the movies you've made her watch, and then he has PTSD from all the games he's played.
Yeah.
And then
All right, everybody. Until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, and that is Piggy. This has been the Dissect That Film Podcast, episode 114. We'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.
Are you okay, Dom?